Gather around, freaks. It's time for another mountain climb and another gold dig. So gather around the internet radio and gather around the internet campfire because it's time for another episode of... Hey, did you see this one? Oh, no. There it is.
In a world where society tells you to doubt your strength, question your intelligence, and dim your light, we search for voices to tell our stories. Voices to empower us, uplift us, and keep us heard by the masses. These are the voices of powerful, resilient, and talented women who aren't afraid to speak up and speak loudly. Women who teach us to be brave, to be vulnerable, and to believe in ourselves. So, Hey, Did You See This One? Invites you to Feminist Masterpiece Theater.
Oh, hello. How's everybody feeling tonight? It's Thursday, and you know what that means. It's time for another rousing edition of Hey, Did You See This One? This month on the show, it's Feminist Masterpiece Theater, where we're talking about film with strong female leads, directed by females. It's great. It's good. Megan last week was a fantastic start to the month, and this week we're talking about Gold Diggers, The Secret of Bear Mountain, starring Chlumsky and Christina Ricci. This is episode 191, I believe, which is, we're getting up there, pretty insane. Season 3, episode 42. We're joined this week once again by Noel K. Welcome back to the show for the 14th time, I believe. 14, the big 1-4. You're going to get your hat and your jacket in the mail soon for the 15 Times Club. And returning to the show after 1 year, star of internet and stage and screen, I think. Sorry, I haven't said your last name out loud since last year. Claessens. Is that right?
Wrong. But I appreciate the preamble. It's like a claw.
Claessens.
Santa Clausens. I probably said that last one too.
Okay. Please welcome back to the show, Claessens.
What's up?
There we go.
Yes, currently exactly 1 year. Is that true? Very
About
close.
a year and a month, yeah. But you haven't been back since the last Feminist Masterpiece Theater, where we covered Hidden Figures, which was a great episode. Not a lot of comedy. Not a lot of comedy to be had out of that one, but we still had a great conversation. This movie, too, is similarly a drama, and we're going to get into it. It was a good time. It's a good film. It really brought me back to 1995, which was cool. But I think the first thing we have to cover here is a brief synopsis. Zardos, are you around?
They changed the format. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Also, my name's Stephen Waters, co-host of this podcast. I was not introduced.
Sorry. I'm Jason R. Phillips, also a co-host of this podcast. I didn't even introduce myself. I went to see Weird Al Yankovic last night, and I surprisingly did a lot of drinking, considering the amount of children at the show. Anyway,
That's
Zardos.
Zardos speaks to you. He demands you synopsize this film. Tell him how, why, who, what occurs in this film.
I forgot what it is.
Intense.
That's right. I believe
So I've
Noel,
been called on by Zardos.
Yeah, you're the one, Noel with no last name. It's time for you to tell us what this movie is about.
So, Gold Diggers, The Secret of Bear Mountain. Beth and her mother have moved to a rural county in the Pacific Northwest after the death of her father. She meets Jody, a troubled youth who is obsessed with a gold legend in Bear Mountain. Beth gets trapped in the mountain. Jody saves her, but also gets in trouble with the police. Jody's mother's abusive boyfriend then abducts her, and she is rescued only after Beth forces the adults to help. The bad guy gets arrested, and Beth and Jody are bequeathed sacks of gold by a mysterious benefactor.
Mysterious.
The whole thing.
Sorry?
Like,
Yeah, I do summaries for a living, man. No. But I have a lot of thoughts and I have to condense them into small amounts of words.
makes sense. Maybe it should be
we've-
mentioned Steve asked me what movie I'd want to do, and I kind of threw this out there as a bit of a ha ha ha. But it's one of my favorite movies growing up. I got it for Blockbuster approximately 15 times, and I've been thinking about rewatching it, and it has ladies in it. So I put it out there.
I think your mic.
Yeah,
I think your mic is going wacky.
Man. Okay, maybe I will abandon this mic.
Okay.
Okay.
It's doing like a weird double thing where it's like sounds like it's picking you up twice and then deleting one as it's coming out.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's like an internet thing either because your video is fine. It's just for some reason the audio is coming through weird. But it wouldn't be hated to see this one if there weren't technical difficulties. I don't think we've had an episode without them.
Is it better now? I've switched microphones.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like perfect.
Okay, good, because I was about to go into my rant about Sportsnet Plus, so this is good that the mic is working.
Okay. Well, so did you guys hear what I said, or was it was just annoying to listen to?
What I kind of did. Steve, why don't you hit the sting for brief histories, because this is actually a great segue into that.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
A brief history.
Perfect. Caitlin, I believe you were saying you rented this
Yeah,
movie
okay,
15
yeah. So
times
here's
as a kid.
Yes, I did. I watched it many times. Well, so when Steven invited me onto the show and he said it's Feminist Masterpiece Month, so I suggested this movie because it was one of my favorites from a kid, and I've been kind of recently thinking about rewatching it to revisit it, and so I kind of said it as a joke, not really being like, is it a feminist masterpiece to be discussed? But I loved it as a kid, and I'm thrilled to chat about it, to have made you all watch it and find it in the deep corners of the internet, because where else can you get it? And to talk about it.
Literally, I didn't even try to sail the seven seas for it. I went to some weird. I think we all watched it on Billy.
Yeah.
And if you look at the side of the website, you can see other movies like My Girl 2.
Yes.
Now and
All
Then.
of the Anna.
Yeah, I mean all of the
movies.
Christina Ricci.
Yeah, and Anna Chlumsky movies.
Now and Then.
I think it's pronounced Chlumsky, no?
Whatever.
Oh, I've been saying it phonetically. I'm bad with last
Chlumsky.
names, apparently. Stephen, what is it? Waiters? Stephen Waiters?
Honestly, go back to old Hollywood, where if you had a weird last name, you picked a different name. Can we just go back to that?
Right.
What's Natalie Portman's actual last name? Oh my god, that's gonna bother me. Anyway, carry on.
It's
I also
something
spelled
very
my last
Jewish
name
then.
with 3 L's this week. What the hell's going on? Sorry.
Wow. Okay, well,
Yeah.
sorry to jump the gun, but that was a great synopsis. It's just as I remembered it.
Great.
It's Natalie Hirschlag.
Hirschlag.
Yeah.
Although that's a nice name, but
Portman. Noel, do you have a brief history with this film as well?
nope, never heard of it.
That's the thing. Everyone I talk to, when you hash out your childhood films, no one's heard of this. And I don't understand. How did it only exist for me?
It seems maybe like it was one of those ones that didn't get put on TV a lot, because there was a few that I also have that I've been having difficulty finding that fall into the sort of same category where it's like you rented it a lot, but you never once saw it on TV ever. And I feel like that is maybe this movie, where if it was on TV, it wasn't on any of the channels that I watched regularly. But I do have like a weird memory of maybe seeing this. That's when you first pitched it. I looked at the images. I'm like, I was a big like Christina Ricci boy, so like any movie that had her head on it, I was like, let's get this.
She's peering over your shoulder.
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah, very creepily. Well, to be fair, that cover looks like every other cover from like a kid's movie in '96. So I also went, oh, I've seen this, and went, nope. But then again, I'm a basic bitch in Uggs who walks her dog in pajamas, and I only watched Disney cartoons when I was a kid. So.
Well, what's interesting about that, and sort of my brief history is similar to Steve's, where like I recognize the cover, the name of the movie sounds familiar. I feel like it's not a Disney movie, I don't think, but I think they played it on Disney Afternoon one time when I was a kid or something, because I remember the plot of this film pretty vividly for some reason.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
So, I owned Casper on VHS and watched that like 1,000 times. So I was Christina Ricci pilled too as a kid.
Casper freaked me out because of the way that they ate and then it fell through their bodies.
Yeah.
I like that. My favorite part.
The beginning of Figures gives a lot of Casper vibes because she's going to a new place. She's in the car with her parent. Her other parent has died. It's
or
the exact
Footloose.
Mm-hmm. It's also like the same year that Casper came out, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's what happened. It got buried by Casper.
Yeah, this is the sister movie to Casper with the same lead protagonist.
Also, maybe a ghost movie.
Yeah, instead of dead mom, it's dead dad.
Oh my goodness! There's a Casper movie.
Old woman.
With Hilary Duff, like baby Hilary Duff as like Wendy the Witch or whatever. It's so cute. But we're not talking about that.
No, we're not talking about the.
Not talking about that feminist masterpiece.
Baby Huey movies. We are, of course, talking about Gold Diggers. So I guess Caitlin, you had the least brief history, but thank you for bringing this movie to us. I'm sorry that spoilers. I'm gonna be kind of harsh on it in my final thoughts, but we'll get to that when we get to it. I think there's a lot to talk about in this film, but before we get to that, let's.
Wait, Jason, you didn't like the 1995 film directed at children for the first time watching it in 2025 as a 40-year-old man?
I have a question.
That's crazy.
You have to watch. I know it's difficult, but you have to watch it from the lens of an 8-year-old girl. Like, there's no other way.
I tried.
That's how I watch every movie, so I liked it.
I put on an ill-fitting dress.
I'm open to this movie and it's whatever criticisms and thoughts you have for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
The only reason I preface it with that is sometimes people pick movies and they come on all excited, and then I'm like, I did not care for that film, and I feel bad doing that.
No.
So I just wanted to give you a heads up.
I think it's okay if you didn't like.
I'm out of here. Yeah, that's fine.
It's not for you.
Right. You're right. But I did keep an open mind. Let's do a little bit of production talk. There isn't too much, but there's some things.
All right. Quiet on set. Are we rolling? Okay, let's shoot this piece of shit.
Sound. Speed. Action!
That's right. This film was directed by Kevin James Dobson. Looking at his IMDb, nothing really of note. A lot of TV. This is pretty much the only movie he did except for a TV movie called The Thornbirds, The Missing Years. And he stopped working around 2010 as far as a director goes. This is
he made quite a few TV movies. And then this is his only, I think, actual theatrical release, it looks like, that I can see here. But I'm not familiar with any of these. I don't think I've seen any of them. But I've seen Babylon 5.
That's what I was going to say. I know Babylon 5. But what's worth noting also is this movie only cost $6 million to make.
$6?
$6 million. Well, basically $6 in Hollywood money.
Yeah.
And it made 9 million. So it made triplets. Nope, that's not math. It made $9 million. So no sequel, obviously.
I didn't think they would needed one. Imagine they made a sequel to Stand By Me. That would
Stand
work.
by me too. Stand harder.
Like they're just rich. There's like
Yeah.
now then it's like a blank check.
They're just teenagers in therapy.
Oh, he also wraps up what happens to all of them pretty quickly at the end of that movie. He's like, and then they all died or whatever.
You just need a device, like a time machine.
Yeah, we've got to go back and stand by me again.
Do you want to go
yeah.
find a dead body?
Yes, I do. So I don't really have a lot to talk about here because none of the people that have worked on this movie are people that I particularly recognize or familiar with. So I don't think there's a lot to talk about unless we want to get into sort of like critiques or compliments of the actual sort of cinematography or the music. I mean, me and Caitlin, we were watching it, we're like, this sounds like Jurassic Park, and then halfway,
yeah.
I'm like,
I
this sounds
wrote
like
it in my
E.T.
notes.
It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
the
this sounds
score.
This sounds like
There's so many moments.
there's a ton of John Williams moments where for a minute I'm like, is this like table scraps where John Williams was like, yeah, I don't need this shit. You can take the C-roll of Jurassic Park and put it in your Gold Diggers movie.
But they did take that C-roll and played it as much as the early Bonds played the like da-da, the whole way through. This movie gave me really like Temu Bridge to Terabithia vibes.
I've never seen that, so I cannot comment on it, but it did give me good vibe, that's for sure.
I know what Temu is. Like Temu, we're saying it's like the knockoff.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Bridge to Terabithia, I think, it was based on a book. It had more money. It was much more produced. So this is just like a much more subdued version of like that type of kid movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of
I thought it was like pretty cool for like I knew it had no budget, but you didn't really need to. Like there's not a whole lot of set pieces there. You got a fake cave. It's 95 or 6. No one cares.
Yeah,
It's a coming of age drama. Like you don't need a whole lot. They
it's
spent all the money on that like cave set.
And it's
where
pretty,
they're walking up.
Like British Columbia is so beautiful that it carries like you don't need set design if you just shoot in British Columbia and take the hills and like the nature. That's really what makes it feel so nice. Like
I honestly think that's what I loved about it, was that it was just like, wow, look at that mountain. Ooh,
there's mountains everywhere.
And I'm always like, Canada.
Yeah.
I was doing that the whole time with all the actors. I was like, that
Pacific
guy's
Northwestern.
Yeah, that's Canadian.
Jewel Spate from Firefly's in it. A very
yes, she is. I was like, is that the girl from Firefly?
The girl from the Odyssey is in it as well, I believe. I don't know if you guys watched the Odyssey kids show.
Oh my god, I haven't thought about that show in so long. But then the other friend that she's with, she died when she was like 22 from a drug overdose.
Was that Christy from Now and Then? The other?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer. Steve and I, when we were watching the ending, Steve was like, every movie in the 90s does a freeze frame ending. And then lo and behold, it did. And then not only that, it like came back for a second one. It did 2 freeze frames.
No, the freeze frame that happened to us the first time was that the movie like buffed their buffering.
Yeah. Is this the freeze frame? Or like this would be a very questionable.
I said, wait, this is an odd choice. They're like in mid motion and they're all blurry, and someo's throwing a potato in there.
So then we had to restart the browser, and then I was like, don't spoil it. Don't go too far. You're gonna ruin the ending.
And I almost
You almost did.
Yeah. I don't say this meanly, but one of my favorite parts is like I really don't. One of my favorite parts of this movie is that it's 93 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, there's not much more they could have added. You know,
I think
a lot happened in that 90
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like mind blown when she was like, I'm a murderer. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? This is turning into a Stephen King movie now.
Yeah.
And then that's when it went from like kind of Goonies to like mega Goonies to surpassing Goonies to like a whole other level of like child abuse and things that I was not expecting them to deal with.
Exactly.
Dark,
Because
man.
I thought the movie was like I was saying this to Steve, but I thought it was like The Gray for kids or The Edge for kids, where they are lost in the woods the whole time. Like, remember that movie with Merv from Home Alone, where he's like a criminal and he ends up in the woods with like a camp troop, and they're just stuck in the woods the whole time. And it's this like kind of schlocky kids comedy. I thought it was gonna be like that, where they're just traveling around in the woods the whole time. Like, there's only one bear in it for like 2 seconds also,
Yeah.
which is really
Because you
weird.
have
Like,
to. You have to.
I thought they were
bear
gonna
in for Bear Mountain.
I thought they were going to be pursued by a bear for like 45 minutes, but they're only really in the mountain
That's
area
too
for like
scary.
15.
That's too scary, Jason.
Now, how
You
much
cannot
do
do
you think the bear took up of the $6 million budget?
The budget. Yeah.
$1 million. $1 million for the bear, 4 mil for that cave opening.
I would have loved a sequence though
That-
if like Christina Ricci is sitting there and then the other girl's like, how are we gonna kill it? And then she's like, blood. Like fucking Christina Ricci cuts her hand to lure the bear out with blood.
So weirdly enough, not knowing anything about this movie, I guess just like from osmosis, it's kind of what I thought it would be. Like not the plot, like the actual things that happened, like things genuinely took me by surprise or were interesting or like it took me along for the ride. But like there's people always talk about creepy 80s, like the kid stuff, like Never Ending Story or Goonies or all of that stuff. And we don't ever talk about weird 90s. Like this mid 90s area where all the kids movies had like way too much slowness, way too much talking, slightly weird shit. Someone's gonna die probably, but like they're where the 80s were like hyper fantasy, the 90s were very much slice of life in a very depressing way.
Those are my favorite kinds of movies. The slice of life,
90s,
depressing saga.
When
And
they
it's
were
just
giving movies to like adult filmmakers who are like, I want to make something that's for adults, for kids, digestible for kids, and it's like, do we want to?
well,
Go ahead.
that's
sorry.
John Bluth right there.
Oh yeah.
Like, but it was
Totally.
just the vibe. Like you had grunge, you had like there was the 90s were at the end, like there was a recession, like it was depressing. And so you had a lot of these like really grim, low budget kids movies that were coming out. Like Disney was only just coming back from almost being bankrupt. Like it wasn't the monopoly that we have now. So you had a lot more small studio things, and cable TV really pushed all of this, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And a theme song by Colin Hay from Men Without Hats.
I love Colin Hay. That song lives in my head all the time.
Caitlin sang the entire song. at
He's
the
here to love somebody. That opening shot. Okay, the helicopter opening shot had to have been a significant part of the budget. Those helicopter shots. That was,
And
here
that's-
we come, shaking.
It was very shaky. Yeah, I was like, oh
You-
man, this is a janky
You
helicopter.
don't
You
It was
say
see
windy that day. I was like, is it a windy day? They could have redone this in the afternoon when it was less windy.
You don't see that anymore, though. Like all of these
No.
movies used to open with giant helicopter shots. Like
Yeah.
that was just how, like that's how The Sound of Music opened, and then everything after.
This is how I know Noel doesn't watch horror movies, because every horror movie for the last like maybe 8 years has had a crazy opening shot of a road or a forest, but because drones became so accessible where they could put a strap a camera to a drone, so now they're back, baby, and they're better than ever. We don't have to.
Let
We
it
don't have to
jump.
rent the helicopter. We can
Let
pay them
John-
$300.
A lot of
Let
John
me-
Carpenter movies open with that as well for some reason. He loves those shots of mountains.
Well, they used to shoot in real places, and a lot of these horror movies still shoot in real places. The thing is, most movies don't shoot in real places.
Yeah.
So you don't have to set the scene like that. But yes, I don't watch horror movies because the horror movies are garbage, and people who like them are garbage.
That's rude. Except we
So
went to
rude.
see a
Bad
horror
That's been
now.
our show for this week.
Whoops.
We never got to talk about Gold Diggers.
I think this is you said this on the very first time you were on, and I was like, "How dare you!" But then I remembered that you had talked for like 45 minutes about the Fast and the Furious. I'm like, "Okay, this is facetious. I understand what you're doing here."
It made you feel better.
Yeah, it did.
Correct.
I love horror movies. But yeah, I mean, like the movie does, like you guys were saying, have like immediate production value and just like a beautiful aesthetic where it feels like a Stephen King movie because it has all the sort of like staples and hallmarks of a Stephen King movie. So I'm immediately almost like I am getting the Casper vibe in the horror direction because of how it's opening. And then halfway through the movie, once it again starts to horrify me. I'm like, this is kind of a horror movie in a way. It's got all the pieces to the stew are in there.
See, Steven, this is how I know you're not an 8-year-old girl.
Oh, you knew that? Hold on, I gotta go take my food out of the oven. Yeah, my chicken's dead.
While he's gone, is the opening song the gayest thing? Like it's a love story, right? Like
love somebody. It's about being yourself, you know, about being true to who you are, which is what the whole movie's about.
I know,
yes,
but this movie is a thinly veiled lesbian love story, right? Like a coming of age. But they couldn't go full bore because it's the 90s. They couldn't fully lean into it. That's the vibe that I got.
It also starts and ends with the same song. Like the beginning song is also the end credit song. They doubled out.
Do that. Yeah. It's how you know.
Well, that's why it's stuck in your head forever. I put that song on so many of my burned CDs I would make back in the day.
But
somebody messaged me and said that Anna Chlumsky looks like Jonathan Taylor Thomas on that cover.
She does. She has the same haircut.
I mean, I love Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I thought he was super cute. Tom and Huck. Did you guys watch that one?
I did.
Not on the show, but I have seen that. Yeah.
Nail masterpiece.
Yeah. That's like the rest of it. My wife said to me, she's like, "Oh, great, we get 1 month." I was like, "God damn it, I can't."
No, but it's Feminist Masterpiece because Becky pushes him off of the thing. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's so good.
So good.
Becky Thatcher.
I mean, when they introduce her character, it is like they do shoot it in the way that they would if it was like a movie about a little boy falling in love with a little girl. You know, it's like the first time I saw him, he was so fucking cool, beating up all those assholes or whatever.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't code her as like she's a tomboy and like, but she's very androgynous.
Yeah.
And then the opening line is like the strongest woman I've ever known or whatever, and you're like, where is
the
finest?
I was the finest woman I know.
The finest woman I ever knew.
As soon as I heard that, I was like, Feminist Masterpiece. It fits. Yes, I chose correctly.
And when I say like it's pretty gay, that's not a bad thing. That's part of what I liked about the movie. That it was like
me too. That's what I'm saying about it. It is like they just couldn't really lean into it because it's a kids movie though. Like if
they can't make this movie now.
If these two were 20, this is a gay love story. You know what I mean? Like fully.
So interesting because like as a kid, I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe because I saw it as a kid, I just always saw them as like, oh, they're just like the best of friends, and it never occurred to me. And even like watching as an adult, like I get it, like you can watch it with that lens.
Even when she's like, she's my friend. You can't tell me how I feel about her, and I'm gonna see her if I want to. I was like, they're in love with each other.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah. But, you can like have that kind of love for your friend. It doesn't have to be like romantic love.
I guess so.
Yeah, you guys are perverts. Just kidding.
No, it doesn't have to be romantic love, but it's a very intense. Like I'm not at that age. I'm not sure that what we're seeing is something that they would consciously like know, but there is a very intense friendship there, and it's. I think it can be read as just very close friends. It can have gay subtext. Like maybe it's because I'm a queer and Steven's a queer that we're like, hey, this might be queer. So like maybe we're reading that
if you're able to imprint upon it, or it imprints on you in that way, then that's just the movie's all the better for it, right? You're enjoying it for the same reason that somebody else might, right?
Mm-hmm.
Totally. I did always think, even as a kid, when they first meet, well, I guess the second time they meet after a bike accident, where they're picking berries and then she's in the tree and drops the stuff. Anyway, and then she recites Winnie the Pooh and they kind of bond over Winnie the Pooh. And then for the life of me, I can't remember the characters' names, even though I've watched it a bazillion times. And then they like take off together, right? I always thought, I was like, well, that was really quick. They just now they're pals.
But that's how fast it was when you were a kid. You could become
Right.
best friends with somebody for an afternoon sometimes, you know? Like,
That's how fast lesbian relationships are.
right. They would have, yeah, if they were adults, they would have been moving in later that week.
Yeah.
And then moving out 1 week later.
Yeah.
That's a stereotype, guys. Come on.
It is.
Beth. So I thought Beth was she's such a saint. Like, she's so sweet. And even when Jody is like kind of mean to her at the beginning and stuff, and she's just like, whatever, I'm out of here. And then she very quickly changes her mind. It's like, I'm sorry, let's be friends.
Yeah. And
I guess
she
that
also-
is like, you know, you would only do that with somebody you want to hang out with.
Yeah.
Want to hang out with.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
nice.
drawn to her.
She also
Yeah.
like she sees through the bullshit of everybody else in the town like immediately, right? Which is
Right.
also very like neurodivergent in coding, where it's like, I can see through all of you weird sheeple that all just listen to each other's gossip and baloney, and I can see that this person has clearly been destroyed by living in this crap community. Except
But
for
that's
Roy.
where-
Except for the evil Roy.
But that's where
Ray?
like
Is it Ray or Roy?
Ray.
Sorry. Yeah,
Ray.
go ahead.
that's where the
Ray
prejudice vibes came from as well, right? Like that somebody who's not accepted for who they are, like you can code that a lot of ways.
Right.
Mhm.
Right? Like, I actually don't think this movie would be able to be made today or released today. Like, I think
Well, not for kids. Kids don't get anything good. Except for me. Just kidding. Because I do kids shows.
Ages
But
3 to 5.
I feel like adults would make a big deal out of the
Mhm.
content and the context in the current hellscape universe that we're living in right now. Like, this movie says things that are just not, they're taboo somehow, even though it's a movie about like two girls being friends and believing women. So,
Yeah. Believing women. No, it's totally about that. I picked up on that more watching it as an adult, of being like, oh, they don't believe her.
Yeah. The movie even had me going at one point where I'm like, is she lying about the murder? Like, I didn't think she was lying
Same.
about anything else, but I was like, is she making it up? Because she seems like somebody who would exaggerate details of a tale, which she obviously did, because
She is that
said he
kind of
was
character,
clearly
yeah.
dead. But maybe we should just hop right into the body of the
I
episode.
think it's time.
All right.
The body of the episode.
So we're gonna switch it up a little bit this week, and you're gonna see more of this where we kind of, Steve and I, switch off, sort of, you know, doing the charge.
just do
going
it.
through the episode. So, Steven, why don't you set the scene for us?
Well, the opening of the movie, we've already kind of gone over it a little bit, but the character played by Christina Ricci, Beth, and her mother are entering a small town for the first time, having moved there after the death of their father. It's about a year's past, and I guess they've been living in the city because everybody calls her City Girl. We don't really get too many details about her life previous to this, but she clearly doesn't want to live in this town. Like any movie about this sort of thing, the kid is pissed about having to move to the country. It happens in 1 million movies. And then you get sort of like, you get a back and forth between the mom and the car on the way to the town, where you get enough backstory, but not enough to really fill in all the blanks, which the movie does a pretty admirable job of, like, kind of drip feeding you that information throughout. So you're not being overloaded with like, what happened to the dad? Why isn't the dad there? Did he cheat on the mom? But we were kind of doing that. I'm like, is the dad dead? Or like, we were doing it on the couch, but this is adult brain going. But they move into like a nice sort of country home on the outskirts of town. And Christina Ricci is not too happy with the house, but she's taking it like a champ. She's gone through much worse in her short life at this point. So I think that you can't fault her for having such a huge change of scenery. We also learned that the mom is a children's book writer, and there's a hilarious running gag throughout the movie of the mom not starting writing because she has to sweep. I gotta sweep. Well, I can't write when the whole house needs to be painted.
Does the mom have ADHD. Like
I think so, but she has like that sort of like neurodivergent like avoidance, like ADHD avoidance of like I can't do the task because I just am having that executive dysfunction right now. Let me fill the void by sweeping the entire house.
she's a 90s quirky mom.
Yeah,
It's a very like common creative problem.
I think that my mom would call her a fae child. Yeah, she's a child of the fae.
Well, it's like the mom in the Princess Diaries is very similar. The mom in Twilight is very similar. Like the flighty mom who like is more childish than the grounded like main female character is like plastered all over the 90s and early 2000s.
I mean, the dad in Casper is like that too. It's like, he gets obsessed with his inventions and shit. And
should we just do Casper next week?
I mean, this is Casper.
I love Casper.
This movie is basically Casper.
Quick, Steve, can you change the posters to also have Casper on it?
But yeah, that's the sort of like the intro. I don't know if anybody has anything else to add there, or if you want to pull it apart.
No, that's a good.
I just wanted to say, the house is Beth's mom's aunt, so like her mom kind of grew up there, spent summers there as a kid.
Oh yes, there's like
so she inherited the house.
Right, she didn't buy it. She was able to get it cheap because I think I was questioning at one point like how can she afford this house if she's a children's book writer? I can't unless she's like a famous children's book writer.
Also worth noting, this movie takes place, I guess, in 1980, but it just all looks like the 90s. All of it. Like, I don't even think they changed the cars out to be older looking.
Really, it's
but I mean,
fashion is pretty 90s.
It's also just like it's a country town, right? Not everyone's gonna have like a brand new thing, right? It's just gonna be we've had this for years sort of thing. Everything's like a decade backwards.
I think they adjusted it so they could have the story with the prospector and that person not have to be like 110 years old and still exist.
Low key, guys.
Because I was doing the math and she's still like 80 years old, living in a mountain by herself, cooking moonshine, allegedly.
She's a female masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Noel?
I don't remember.
Okay.
No, really? Oh no! It started with low key, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, low key. The 80s and 90s were exactly the same, except for like pop fashion, and the popular shit is always what changes. But like, there's a baseline for 1 or 2 or 3 decades that does not shift very much. Like, it's just until you have the like cell phone revolution, things are actually pretty.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Well, shortly after that, she goes on a bike ride around the neighborhood
for so long
because she's exploring her new surroundings and potentially looking for friends. It's the summer; she needs to make friends early on, so she is not going to be, I mean, if it was me, I would be in my room, not moving. N64. But she encounters Jody, and the first time she sees Jody is shit kicking a bunch of teenage boys who are, I don't know what they're doing, trying to bully her and failing miserably. But she basically like sprints by, and it's like a cartoonish like slow motion shot of her like
with the hair just like
that was the first time I laid eyes on Jody.
Yeah. She was the
finest woman.
Finest
and then
woman I know.
The next day, I believe, she encounters Jody again and almost runs her over with her bike, and she tumbles into the river and almost hits Jody while she's fishing, right? Or she does hit her.
She does.
They have a huge like rolling down this hill for a long time, and Jody's running in front of her, and she's like, "Get out of the way!" And then they both like jump off this cliff with the bike and into this lake. It seems like a river. It's very dramatic running into.
And then she's like,
also very meet cute.
You've destroyed my shoulder, and I think she says I'm gonna have a bruise the size of an eggplant or something like that. Something very weird and specific about vegetables. But she like escalates it to the point that it's like she's clearly messing around. I was one of these kids as a child, and still am to this day, where I'm like quite gullible. So I just assume everyone's lying all the time now. Some irreparable damage was done to me as a child from people lying to me constantly.
Is this still about the movie? Or?
No, this is about me.
Yeah. I'm
but
the
when I was-
opposite, where I believe everyone. I'm like so earnest that it's like someone will say something that's like clearly joking, but I'm still.
You're there believing it. That's what happened to me all the time as a kid, and now I just assume everyone is lying all the time.
I think it's a trigger for me because that kind of character and that kind of person frustrates me so much that I'd be like, you know what, go kill yourself, and I just never see them again.
Yeah, until they quote Winnie the Pooh from a tree, and then you're like, okay.
And I'd be, you know Winnie the Pooh? Yeah, literally everybody knows Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's been
Still
around
die.
for like
you can die
40,
still.
50, 60 years or whatever. Like one of the most printed books that's read to children all the time. Oh, secret.
When your aunt's like, no, come get your cookie and lemonade. You're like, fuck you, Aunt Tiffany, bitch.
Oh my goodness. But that's probably why, like, because I loved Winnie the Pooh when I was a kid too. So I was like, they get me. But that's probably like everybody who watched this movie probably thought that.
Well,
yeah. Everybody does love Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh was super part of the zeitgeist around this time. There was like a TV show, like a Disney cartoon show that I remember watching as a kid.
Winnie the Pooh was part of the zeitgeist for like 100 years.
True. I'm just saying that like it's like with Robin Hood as well. We talked about when we did Robin Hood. It's like some of these things were like so prominent to us if you're in your like late 30s. And Winnie the Pooh, definitely in 95 I was 10. And it was like, that was my shit Saturday morning cartoon, Winnie the Pooh and Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but I liked reading the book. I liked reading A.A. Milne. The Middle of the
I think that's
specific. Those are these and these are those. Exactly.
Talking about, yeah.
And I was like, I get you, gals.
My favorite part is when he gets... It's the first book when he gets stuck in the beehive thing and Rabbit has to come and then all of Rabbit's relations and then all of Rabbit's relations because rabbits have a lot of family. I always really enjoyed that.
Step Rabbit. Stuck in this tree. Sorry, that was crude.
So I watched the cartoon, but I also read the book because it had been around for like 80 years. Sorry, I'm not gonna get over this.
He was a World War I bear.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that he wasn't around for that time. I'm saying there was a very popular Disney show in the 90s that was airing around this time. What's the point I was trying to make?
Yeah, I think I understood what you were saying.
I'm having a trigger for a completely different reason. It's because of like people who associate Alice in Wonderland
with the Disney
movie, Disney movie, but like people have been enjoying this for years as books, like 100 years of people reading and imagining and loving that. Same with the Wizard of Oz, 100 years of people loving and imagining and reading all of those books. There's like 30 of them, and then it's just like, oh yeah, this one thing, this one generation is just like the different generations just experience these things in such different ways. But this is a very universal language that we all just have in different media.
Right, but I think to Jason's point that the fact that existed, and even now, right, like there's like a new generation of people that are watching the Winnie the Pooh movies that came out not too long ago, and I'm sure there's like tons of Winnie the Pooh shit that's still being turned out to this day and will for decades to come.
Do yourself a favor, look up Russian Winnie the Pooh on YouTube.
I'm familiar.
Oh boy. Winnie the Pooh just became recently the public domain.
Yep.
Right, character.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and he's part of.
And then there's my generation who loves the horror movie.
That's what I was going to bring up.
That's the one I'm familiar with.
There's a bunch of characters
that Blood and Honey.
Yeah, there's a bunch of characters that just entered that public domain. Pooh is like the first one to set it off, and they're building a whole MCU style universe off all the public domain, but they're all horror versions. So Steamboat Willie is coming out, and Blood and Honey 2. And there's a bunch of other ones, and they're trying to put together this like low budget horror universe of all these defunct properties, which I think is hilarious. Like, just do what you're gonna do. It's entertaining.
I've watched all of them. I'm not forcing anyone to watch them on this podcast, but I have watched all of them.
As long as they start with a drone shot.
And I respect that.
Winnie the Pooh kills a woman in a hot tub. A naked lady gets killed in a hot tub by Winnie the Pooh.
Perfect.
Sorry,
Wouldn't
so
have it
I'm a
any other way.
shitty person. So that Winnie the Pooh thing, I just was like, yeah, everybody knows that. That was my thought. Like 8-year-old Noel in my head was like, psh, everybody knows Winnie the
Yeah.
Pooh.
I was also thinking that same thing. I was like, why didn't they choose a more sort of like niche reference? And I'm like, oh, it's because it's little kids.
Like
and little kids
they're
will get-
reciting Goblin Market. Do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known what that was. So doing Winnie the Pooh is better.
Yeah, this I wrote down that they have a poem off. I didn't know that it was Winnie the
Yeah.
Pooh.
They say it.
because that's
They say like 14 times.
Listen,
you know Winnie the Pooh.
I think I know why Jason didn't like this movie. I don't think he watched it.
I watched it. I might have missed some of the nuance, some of the smaller things because I sat and I watched it. I promise you, I didn't pick up my phone or anything, and I was at home, so I wasn't like distracted by The Office. I just didn't. It didn't resonate with me. I found it difficult. It was a little bit of a difficult watch for me, if I'm being honest.
I can see that.
Well, just
One thing
before,
that-
They also bond over their dead fathers.
yes.
Right. Yeah.
One thing I really like that is that they're out, so like they're just out in nature, and like
Yeah.
the mom's okay with her. Like it's almost like, yeah, go out and play, go see the town, like take your bike to wherever. There's just like a lot of freedom there, and it made me really miss that, and not having like cell phones and not seeing any, like you were mentioned the game console, and like that's not even a thing. Like, and I think it degenders it to a point as well, because you're not doing things that are particularly female or particularly male. You're playing in the outdoors. It's more equitable.
Mhm.
Is that the word I'm looking
Yeah.
for? Kind of space to exist
It
and
could
tell
be-
a story.
Yeah, like really, it could have they could have been male characters or female characters, and you could have had a very similar
Gay.
story. Yeah, I think that's what I loved about it. Just there in so many of those '90s films, there's just so much freedom that kids have, and you can have adventures, and you can make mistakes, and you have your own way of working through problems, and that's such a thing that I feel like kids don't get these days, is they don't get the opportunity to work through their own little like politics or social issues because parents come in and take care of it. And when I was a kid, I was so grateful for movies like this, or just movies in general, because then you could see a lot of people working through those things, and you could learn from those interactions instead of having to like go through it yourself. You'd be like, well, I saw someone kind of being bullied once, and this is how they did it, or they didn't believe somebody, and this is what they did. Yeah.
There's a
Right.
nostalgia machine as well. Like around the 90s, you also had stuff like Road to Avonlea. Anne of Green Gables was really big. Secret Garden was really big. So a lot of these kind of nature-based Christian Science like ideas were popular again. Like if I go back and look at pictures of myself, like when I was young, like they dressed us in the 90s, little kids, like Victorian children with like the giant bows and like the poofy like dresses. Like it was very Victorian coded, and it's so strange, but you see that in the media. Like this is very of the same ilk.
Yeah, we were saying, Steve and I were commenting on the mom's dresses, and that she was always wearing these like beautiful, like flowy flowery dresses.
Yeah, it's all like these like summer dresses and like sundresses and stuff, and she seems like a free spirit, that's for dang sure.
Well, you're bordering the 60s and 70s, right? Like this was a woman who had probably grown up in like the peak of counterculture. So that's why you have the flighty mom the way that she is, and like the depressed daughter the way that she is, in a world where like your family nuclear units aren't a thing anymore, right? Like the dad is dead, but that could also be a stand-in for divorce. Like that was something that hadn't happened very much before. So if you were a kid of divorced parents, this movie would probably speak to you. And like movies about orphans and whatnot spoke to me for particular reasons. Like this is how we see ourselves in these analogous like stories.
It's wild to think too, like my parents were just like dating, and my mom got pregnant, and then they had to get married. That would never be the case today. Like some people do still do that, obviously, but in the 80s it was very much like, I see what you're saying. It is analogous for even divorce, because what's the mom supposed to do really in this political climate of the 80s. Like she can't like remarry. People like look down on that because she has to be a widow, I guess. That's just the way it was back then. It's crazy. But I do like how it is. You can look at it up from all these different ways. That's a good point.
Or it's like, if you do have a boyfriend, if you're a single mom with a boyfriend, then you end up with someone like Ray.
Yeah. Almost every time, it seems like in film, especially, the stepfather is a real character that is still a real cliche kind of trope character.
I mean, a wife, you lose your agency, right?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna push us.
Good talk, bro.
Yeah. So we've already talked a little bit about it, but this is around when after the bike incident, she goes home. Obviously, all the groceries are ruined that she's picked up, and she kind of slams them down, and they're like, "Oh shit! Well, we need to introduce you to more."
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. And she has to. She decides that she's gonna try and integrate Beth with some of the other girls in the neighborhood, the neighbor and then her friend, and they go berry picking or blueberry picking or whatever. And then this is when the Winnie the Pooh stuff happens. We all hated it, obviously. I didn't hate it, but I was like, Winnie the Pooh is a little too safe. They should have been like, you love H.P. Lovecraft? Me too. Yeah. But then this is the moment that I touched on earlier where she's like, I'm going to go with Jody. And then the two girls immediately start spouting a bunch of nonsense that clearly their moms have told them to, you have to hate that girl because she's weird. And you don't even want to know about her drunk mom who fucking lies around all day, and her beautiful, handsome, smart boyfriend takes care of everything while she just gets smashed and passes out every afternoon.
Another great trope, another great cliche from 80s and 90s movies, the drunk mom.
Yeah. And this is also where they run off together, and they have sort of their day adventure. They have their heart to heart about their dead fathers. We do learn at this point that her dad is in fact dead. I think it was a car crash. Am I right in saying that he died in a car accident or something?
I don't remember.
It's always a car accident.
Oh yeah. Maybe she did say that. Yeah.
It's a kids movie. They don't want to get too traumatic with it. Unless...
He got blown up in a nuclear factory explosion, and now he's Toxic Avenger.
He got murdered by a dream demon with a scissor glove.
It was a murder-suicide.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
His mistress.
I want to point out when they go into the woods for the first time, their first adventure is they Tarzan across a full gorge on a rope.
Hell
and
yeah.
I was like, that's
So
insane.
I can see you guys have never watched
like
Bridge to Terabithia, because that's how she dies in the end of that movie.
No, spoiler.
Spoilers for a 40-year-old movie.
The Bridge to Terabithia was like in the 2011, wasn't it?
Oh,
it's pretty.
I assumed it was an old movie.
Yeah,
it's an old book.
15
That's why I didn't see it, because it was a kids movie when I was like 20 years old. So
that's exactly why I saw it.
Yeah. So and then they talk about they do the swing, the vine swing, and my stupid film brain, when she starts to talk about Molly Morgan and stuff, Molly Morgan looks over a gorge and you see the same exact shot from when she looks over the gorge. I'm like, oh, they're going down Molly Morgan's path, they're following her path, and then no, they just reused the shot, because then it shows her like on a boat coming to America. I was like, oh, never mind. She sailed to Canada. But this is where we learn sort of like the setup for the adventure to come, which is like tomorrow's going to be the summer solstice. It's the longest year in the the longest day in the entire year, and we're going to have a whole day long adventure while the sun's up. And then she talks about oh wait, is that it? Yes, yeah. And then she tells her she doesn't tell her about Molly Morgan yet. She tells her about Molly Morgan later. But she's like, so meet me at the school tomorrow morning at whatever time. And I didn't hear that part because I, for some reason, thought she waited all day. The passage of time in my brain was like, she was there all day waiting. And then later on when she's on the phone, it's like, what time is it? She's like 9. I'm like, it's 9 p.m. Look how bright it is. And then Caitlin, you said, it's the longest day of the year. And I was like, but it's like almost 10. It should be a little bit dark. Turns out it was 9 a.m.
Yeah, that longest day of the year
thing, though,
is a very relevant plot point. like
Not
it's
really, 'cause
why
that's
she
not how
doesn't
tides work.
die.
But that's not how tides work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Steve said. Where I was like,
But
what?
that's how tides
What?
work in the logic of the movie.
In the logic of the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
But in
So
real
that's
life,
why
she would be
it
dead.
matters.
And that's
Yeah.
also
That-
why they can go on that journey, because they're able to be out that long.
Yeah.
But it's also on the summer solstice at noon is when the thing happens. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead.
No, we can get to that point because there's a little bit of stuff that happens. It's they're
Yeah, I
waiting.
wanted to just mention them walking and talking. It's very coming of age, where they're like, boys don't like you if you have armpit hair, and
Right.
that I think
Oh
you
yeah,
mentioned too.
and they talk about sex.
They talk about sex a little bit. Have you ever seen one before? Have you ever seen a grown man naked, Billy? Sorry, airplane. But yeah, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
It's true.
Yeah, they have like a weird sort of like, childish conversation about sex where it's like they're just sort of giggling about it and being like, no, I never even know about it yet. And they're just like, okay, well, this is, it's realistic, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know, this isn't really. I guess it just shows their innocence, I suppose. Like they're sort of.
It's a really common trope that the troubled character is the one that's going to instigate a conversation and like has more, still very juvenile knowledge. Like the Netflix series, no, we don't say that word. The streaming series, Anne with an E, that was based on Anne of Green Gables, used that in a modern like to tell the story of how this person is weirder. Like it's like a very easy trick that a lot of these movies do.
Right.
And then if you read any Judy Blume stuff, there's always a piece where they're talking about like sex. Like these are the reasons a lot of those kids' books that approach on that topic are banned or whichever, because they actually do approach that, and kids do actually talk about that in the way that they don't understand. And from this conversation, you can tell that there's some knowledge of what it is. Jody clearly is putting herself in a situation where it seems like she knows more, but she doesn't. So
yeah.
Yeah.
They know what it is, but they don't really know how it works or why people really do it. They're like, I guess it feels good, maybe, I don't know. And then they move on from that topic and never really bring it up again. But they then, so the next day she's waiting for her at the school, and she waits for, I don't know how many hours, a long time. And a cop shows up, and we're like, a cab. What's this cop going to do? Arrest
what I
you
was
for
like.
loitering? You do that graffiti, kid? Who are you? I've never seen you before. Let me see some ID. And then she's
like, I'm 12. We don't have ID yet.
she tells him what she's doing there and how she's waiting for Jody, and he immediately is like, oh shit, yeah, okay, well, maybe you shouldn't be hanging around with Jody if she's not gonna show up respectably.
He says he actually is very much kinder to Jody than anyone else in the movie has been so far, when he's just like, Jody's not a bad kid, just not very reliable, which is way nicer than what. So like it's the save the cat moment, right? Like he gives her a ride. He's a safe person for Beth, but also isn't like shitty and gossipy.
Yeah, he's not doing what every single other adult, even including her mom, even where it's like his mom has been poisoned clearly by the well of people's assumptions about Jody, just based on, they see her from the outside and don't know her in any way whatsoever, and they just kind of make a bunch of assumptions.
And that's what Jody said was going to happen. She's like, your mom will say this too. You just wait.
Yeah,
she knows.
And it did. Yeah, and it's it's very clear in the movie that like Jody's actions are not simply because of her home life. It's also because of everybody in the town treating her that way. So it's expected of her, and she's not even going to try not to do it, because she's like, well, if everybody assumes I'm bad, then I might as well just be bad, because it's just easier than being good and everybody thinking I'm going to do bad shit anyway. Which is sad and realistic. I've known many people in my life who are this exact way, or were this exact way when we were kids. But he then is like, well, I should take you home. And she's like, well, can you take me to Jody's house? And he's like, and you know that it's because he doesn't want to take her there, because it's not the best living situation. He kind of already knows what she might encounter there. And she's like, you can go. I'll just take care of myself now. And I got
a different read on it.
Oh, I thought
Well,
I thought
he kind of offers to take her. He's like, "Oh, I know where she lives. Why don't we go see if she's there?"
He
Right.
offers, but also it was what the way I took it is that he's taking her there to kind of show her firsthand, right?
right,
Like
and that's why he doesn't leave, right? Just because like she tells him to leave,
Exactly.
but he's like, I'll wait because I know what's gonna happen. She's not gonna be there, and then I can take her home or whatever.
Yeah, he's not saying anything to her the way that other people are. He's just putting her in a
Showing it.
situation where she's going to experience it, and he'll be there to help.
Yeah. And she goes to the door and you hear like the shifting of 1,000 wine bottles. It's like someone shambles to the door, and the mom, who we have already met at this point, they meet them the day previous. They're on the way to the restaurant, and Jody introduces her mom and Ray, the evil stepdad, who I think within 2 seconds of him doing his greasy smile, I turned to Caitlin. I'm like, he's going to go after the gold at the end, isn't he? And you're like, you gave me like an arched eyebrow, and you're like, I don't know.
Classic Steve figuring out the movie 8 minutes in.
Totally called it.
I also this is a real 80s and 90s trope where the alcoholic mother is characterized more like quiet and defeated, like she doesn't seem drunk when she opens the door, but I was like, she's a drunk. That's the traditional, like, sorry honey,
I'm hungover as
now.
fuck right now. I don't even know what day it is. It also probably reeked of booze in that house, but also like
she said, Jody says that later. She's like, whenever she comes out of her room, it smells like a brewery or something like that.
Yeah, and we've already been told by several sources that the mom is a crazy alcoholic. So all of the pieces are there for us to know exactly what's going on. But they do the pretty safe route in a children's movie where you just hear the sound of bottles. This is my first moment where I'm like, oh, this movie's a little heavier than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be real Goonies energy where they're like, let's go up the mountain and find the gold.
Yeah.
But no, it's like, let's get away from my horribly abusive home life and find the gold.
Yeah. There were some moments where you were like, oh, and I was like, yeah.
I did do that a lot. What the fuck?
One of the things that kept me engaged actually is like the darkness of this, what I thought was going to be like a light, like Steve said, like, let's go up the mountain and maybe we encounter a bear and have to get away from it.
Girls, like movies aimed at girls, don't have that same kind of adventure, like the way that you have in the Goonies or all of these boy movies, like Stand By Me, Outsiders, etc. All of these where it's different kinds of adventure. Girls' movies are really subdued because of how culturally girls are supposed to not go on adventures and shit, right? Sorry, I'm like trying to move where I am because I got kicked out of that room. So but that's seeing this wasn't uncommon. They're slower paced. They're more like based around bedroom culture usually. So this is kind of unusual for them to actually have something more like this where it's two girl characters, because you can have your like escape to Witch Mountain stuff, but only if one of your characters is a boy. Like there's quite a delineation.
A bunch of boys and a couple of girls, yeah. And they're just along for the ride. So where are we at? Where are we at in this movie? This is when Matt, the sheriff, brings her back to her mom's house, and then it turns out that the sheriff knows her mom from when they were kids, and he says something out of context is so strange, like it almost sounds borderline sexual. It's like, the last time I saw you, our legs were tied together. And she's like, pardon me?
Oh, right. The sack race, the three-legged race.
Yeah.
Three-legged, am I right?
Yeah.
I wrote she's acting like a weirdo. Oh, sorry. No, that's for when Jody calls in a second. Sorry. Go ahead.
She's acting like a weirdo the entire movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, they sorry.
This is where Jody, after they have their reintroduction to each other, Jody calls it with like a secret agent. Like, why didn't you just meet me in the first place? How did you know I was going to do all this stuff and then go home, and then you called me at the
All
perfect
right.
time?
Mom says there's someone on the phone who's disguising their voice, which is like
very clearly
this is very
described.
funny. Yeah. This is very funny.
It's true. It's like, where did Jody call from?
I don't know.
Maybe her
Payphone,
secret lair in the mountain.
Yeah, she has a phone all the way out there in the mountain.
A public telephone?
Yeah, probably just a phone booth.
You know?
Remember those?
I
Mhm.
remember. That's
remember
from
them, too.
Casper.
She tells her to go meet her outside her in the forest outside of her house is what it is. And then she explains that she had hidden because she has all the candy in her backpack, right? She's like, where'd you get all that? And she's like, from a vending machine that I fucking broke into. That's why I had to hide from the cops. They were looking for me. And that's when they're like, we're going on a real adventure today. We've got to get to Bear Mountain at noon to see where the gold is. And then that's where she's like, what? Gold? And then she tells her all about Molly Morgan, the amazing adventures of Molly Morgan, who we discovered that Molly Morgan was a Scottish woman or girl who was probably around their age when she...
Irish.
Oh, so they say Scottish.
No, it's Irish.
Scottish.
But they say Scottish.
Then you're right, and I'm wrong.
The only reason I know this is because my mom is very Scottish, and as soon as they said it, I was like, "That's where my mom came from." I had the thought.
Why did
Mommy's
Noel
Molly
and I
Morgan.
both think it was Irish?
I
Because
don't know.
Molly Morgan sounds like a very Irish name.
It does sound like an Irish name,
Yeah.
and every
And she
time
was a
they
redhead.
show her,
Morgan.
every time they show her, it's like a tin whistle, like a very Irish-sounding musical score happening. Yeah,
And Molly Morgan's dad died.
yeah, she's basically
In a
one of them.
factory accident.
Is this where they do the flashback? I think coming
Yeah,
up.
and I believe I stood up and I said, flashback. Oh my God, good gravy. But she's being chased through the woods by a bunch of horrible men, and then she escapes them. This is where they reuse the shot of the river that they've Tarzan across. And I was like, they're going across Molly Morgan's footsteps. They're following in her footsteps. And it shows her running through a river. I'm like, they're in the river now, like, because they're on the boat. And she's still telling the story of Molly Morgan. And yeah, and then it shows that her on like a steamboat. And I'm like, oh wait, never mind. She definitely was not.
Yeah, because they get to the boat before the flashback, and even before
No.
that,
I'm talking about Molly Morgan in the
Molly
flashback.
Morgan's on the boat
Right,
in
yeah.
Canada.
And she's like, she took a boat to Canada and she came down here.
Beth and Jody almost have a falling out even before they get to the boat. I have the
Yes.
part up where they're walking through the woods after she shows her the bag of candy, and Beth is kind of like, everybody says I should stay away from you, and then Jody's like, yeah, you're just like the rest of them, and then Beth's like, well, I'm gonna go home then, and then she's like, actually, I'm lost. Wait up,
Yeah.
we
don't know
still
where
have
to
to go
go.
on this adventure.
Yeah,
No,
that's what
but
I was
she's
thinking. It's like Beth is so sweet.
She scares the shit out of her.
Oh yeah,
With the bear
she was-
sounds.
right.
Oh,
She turns
yeah.
into the bear.
Yeah, and that's when she wants to go home. And honestly, vibes. Like, I would also be like, screw you, man.
Yeah, why are
But-
you trying to frighten me?
Yeah, totally. Well, that's why I was thinking. It's like Beth is a saint.
Yeah.
So sweet.
And Jody's a dick, but like,
Yeah.
she's a product of her upbringing, I guess, suppose. But she tells the story of Molly Morgan, and we discover that Molly Morgan hid on a ship, came here from Scotland, became a gold miner by pretending to be a boy, and was killed in the mine, or the supposed death was in the mine that collapsed. But they believe, or Jody believes, that Molly Morgan survived and her gold is still somewhere in the mountain to be found. And if you go to a specific spot at noon, the sun on the longest day of the summer solstice, you'll be able to see exactly where the gold is inside the mountain. And once that story is wrapped up, she has this like comical sort of like tiny tugboat thing that they go down the river in. Like, it's so small, but it has this big giant sort of like room on it that takes up the majority of the boat, but it's too small to kind of sit inside of, so they just both sit on top of the roof the entire time. Like, you can never fit a camera in there to film it properly, so like, yeah, just sit on top of it and we'll ADR every line after this.
There was a lot of ADR.
Yes. But yeah,
Which was the style at the time.
It was the style of the time. And then I think they only really talk about the gold on this boat ride.
They
But-
do a little dancing to stay in the
The Dancing by Bee Gees.
Oh, right. Yeah. The Bee Gees wrote this about me, was the joke that we made. And they eventually get to the, I'm going to have an ambulance.
It's ambulance hour. We should have a thing for when ambulances go by. I don't know what it would be, but it could be fun.
Why not a sound of an ambulance?
We just also play an ambulance. I really like how
everybody does a shot.
Yeah. I will throw up if I look at alcohol right now.
I also would, just the amount of ambulances that go by, I would die. I would die.
I like how skeptical Beth is about all of this, and then as they roll up to the mountain, they see the light perfectly.
And but then she still tries to be like, maybe it's an optical illusion, as they're both like, it's like blindingly bright. Yeah, it could be an optical illusion. And then she's like, no, it's right there. We know exactly where to go now. And she's like, how the fuck are we supposed to get up there? And she's like, I know of a cave system that goes all the way up there. Come on, I'll show you. And then they go into they go into a cave, and she's got basically like a hideout. What does she call it? The condo? The cave condo?
Yeah, the condo.
Yeah.
My condo.
She has a condo full of
Every
stuff.
kid's dream.
Yeah. This is like the Ninja Turtles base in the subway system. This is like the Lost Boys treehouse town. This is like the Ewok village. The Goonies.
When I was a kid, I had a hole in the ground. It was somebody took it for landfill. Like they just took a chunk out of the forest, basically. And the hole was like kind of like a hobbit hole. And I put like a wood roof over it. And I had sort of a similar thing where I like went down in. Take my friends there. TV? We didn't have a TV, but I had paints. We used to paint stuff in there.
Oh my god!
Play with dinkies. I was literally like 9.
You play with your dinkies?
Look, you went there.
You
cars, small
dinkies,
cars, dinkies.
Well,
some people call penises dinkies, Jason. That's what the confusion was about.
Especially when you're children.
Yeah.
I was trying to avoid the insinuation that I went there to masturbate.
Yeah, you and your pal.
I did a terrible job.
Me and the boys going down to the old hole in the forest to play with our dinkies.
Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
Gold diggers.
Yeah.
But this is where we get the revelation, the horrifying revelation, where we learn so much about Jody's life, all in one giant info dump that is almost too much, to the point that I kept being like, what? Wait, what? They find the bandaged shoulder, which is, a massive bruise. She's like, I'm fine. And then she's like, well, the real reason I ran away from home is because Ray got real fucking drunk and real crazy, and he came after me, and I stabbed him with a fishing rod right in the guts. And then he was chasing me, and there's blood everywhere, and he fell over and he was dead.
It was because he was trying to hurt her mom, so she got in the way and tried to stab him.
She got brave. I guess it's sort of the implication is for the first time or whatever. And yeah, he came after her and she stabbed him. And this is where I'm like, damn. So there's just a dead Ray. And what's the story going to be now? Are they going to be like on the run from the cops? Even all the way up into the point when the cops come across her later, I'm like, are they looking for her? Like, she probably is thinking the same thing, right? At that point.
Is this why you like horror movies? Like, when I'm watching movies, I never think of what's coming.
I always think of what's coming.
I need it to shepherd me through.
I'm like that with TV, and I've learned from Steven that you can do that with movies as well, where traditionally I would sit back and let the movie happen to me, but now I'm hyper aware of these little things that I've learned from doing this podcast and just being friends with Steven in general, and seeing the way that he views film. So during this whole movie, I was doing all my notes are like prediction-y notes, like, is this gonna happen? And I'm not as good as Steven yet, but a lot of the stuff, like, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. there were early in the movie, I was like, oh, like it even starts out in a way that I was like, this is more of a Stand By Me than a slapstick comedy about two girls lost in the woods and then going on more of like a road trip style adventure.
I would hate that movie.
Yep.
You would, yeah. Yeah. I thought it was going to be like rated -G, like the kids movie, like kid movie. It's what I've always thought this movie was. But this is pretty you need some parental guidance for this, I think. I think you need to have an adult there if you're 9 years old watching this being like, what does that mean?
It's the PG movies.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, where she's like, no one was having sex in the R-rated movie that I was watching with binoculars.
Right, but people in the cars were.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Gross.
They had their dinkies out.
Dinkies at the drive-in. Yeah.
No, so that wasn't me being mean. That's just like the difference in how you want to engage with a movie. Like I can't watch things that are too psychologically whatever because I'll allow myself to be immersed for the most part. Like you have to have that agreement with your movie, or you can watch it from like the other lens. So that's why a lot of movies are really intense, but that's also why you guys have me on the show and I've never really hated anything because I'm just like, all right, movie, fucking take me where you want me to go.
Yeah, and I mean I don't really like hate much as well. Other than like, you know, the sort of like super commercialized and regurgitated trash that we get all the time now, where it's like, oh, it's just the same movie over and over again. I really don't like this, which is why I go into those movies a lot and I'm like, this is gonna happen. I can even predict the trailers now. I'm like, I don't even have to see the trailer, and I'm like, let me guess, Jason, is this what happened in the trailer? And you're like,
yeah,
yes.
Ant-Man especially was egregious because they show the whole movie. They give up a pretty major plot point and they show like the big celebrity, and then also it had a slowed down 70s song. So that's
the moral of the story is that I think that this like little movie from 96 managed to do stuff that neither of you thought it was going to do. And I think that's kind of neat that like it's so simple, but it went where no movie has gone before.
Yeah, in terms of like the subject matter, I wasn't expecting it, but when it comes down to like the tropey things that these types of movies often do, it was like, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, and it checked all the boxes. But yeah, I did not expect Ray murder, but I did expect Ray in the mountain at the end being like, "Where's the fucking gold?" It's like, oh, this is gonna happen just based on this guy's.
Nothing happened to you. Let's put a smile on that face.
Just based on his, that's just based on his eyebrows and his pointy cleft.
Yeah.
Evil at the end of the movie. He's gonna be demanding the gold. But yeah, they. And she, you know, after the revelation of Ray, she then reveals the map of the mountain. She has sort of like a pretty detailed map of the interior caves that will lead them up to a specific spot in the mountain, which to me, I was like, so then why do they need to see the golden reflection? I was kind of like, if she has a map, why has she never gone there before? And I guess they need the light.
There's lots of different caves. There's lots of different caves that you could go to, and now they know which one.
Now they know which one to go to, yeah. And I guess the light shimmering helped them get to the certain areas of the cave later on. And they never really found the gold. The gold is given to them at the end as a gift. So I guess they never did get to their actual their secret cavern. They did find the crystals though, which was the source of the light, right? Is that what we were meant to believe?
Yeah, I think that's was actually the source of the light, and perhaps all the gold is gone because Molly has mined it all.
Right, and she's got a golden toilet and a golden shower curtain.
Yeah, and she's just doling it out now.
Yeah, she smiles and all of her.
There are glowworms that glow gold, which was an interesting little moment.
Glowworms.
Yeah. What do you? He said, "You're trying to make a fool out of me." Like,
yeah, I put those there.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I put those there for you to find, so that we can have this fun adventure together.
Yeah, what the hell, Ray?
Okay, we're jumping ahead.
We are.
We're missing the almost drowning part.
Right.
Yeah, that's where we're at now. The boat freak out.
Yes, and
she does urge Jody to go to the police, but she like refuses and decides she's gonna stay in the mountain forever. Like, I don't need nobody. I can just live here off my Hershey bars and my satellite TV. But then a rainstorm.
Beth, I was just gonna say, like Beth has a real moment there of like, you don't deserve this. Like, all these bad things are happening to you, and you don't deserve any of these things, and it's not fucking fair.
Yeah, and it's not your fault either. It's like
it's not your fault. It was like in the Good Will Hunting. It's not your fault.
And wisely, they realize a storm is approaching. Sort of like a flash storm comes, and they're about to leave, but then the entrance that they came through gets like massively flooded. A big sort of like a jet of water streams in. The cave is flooding quickly, and a rock falls and lands on Christina Ricci's leg. Miraculously, later we discover no damage. No damage.
Yeah. And the boat is fucked.
Yeah, the boat gets flipped upside down and is completely destroyed, basically. Which means that Jody has to swim all the way back, which is wild. The amount
racing against the tide.
Yeah, against the tide.
Oh my goodness.
And
she swims home faster than it took for them to boat all the way there too, it seems like. Unless she went a different direction to the highway.
She didn't go all the way home. She just went to the nearest highway.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that she does say that. She's like, this is where the nearest highway is. I'm going to swim there. And she just had to swim across the lake, but still a massive distance, to the point that even like a person who's a strong swimmer, I'd be like, you're not doing that without a safety boat nearby.
But then like climb up a hill and like it's not. It was pretty dirty freaking terrain.
Yeah,
and I noticed something.
The bear for 4 seconds within the
for 4 seconds
before she was like. Back away, not to just go late.
I noticed something interesting about the boat thing too. When they first get to the boat earlier in the movie, Beth literally says, "I could never drive this boat," and then they have her jump in the boat and try to drive it, and she crashes into everything and flips it. And I thought that was a fun little like weird foreshadow to put that in there. Like, I could never drive this boat, and then she just fails miserably at it, and then gets a rock falls on her leg.
Yeah, like the moral of the story is actually that Beth should have just been better at picking that shit up, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Learn how to.
She's panic. She's just pure panic mode though. Like she's just
she went right into the waterfall, and it's like waterfall plus boat bad. Like
it was also like the boat was getting away. She could just like grab the rope.
Honestly, I was like, I don't know how they got in there because of how tight it is and the boat and everything. So Jody's pretty good at this, but like, there's no way that kid was getting out in the dark in a boat that she's never driven in a cave that she has. Like, I was like, nah.
Yeah,
it was wild. If she had gone out, I would have been like, this is not believable.
Unrealistic. Yeah.
Sorry, getting kicked out of the other room also meant that now I have this.
It's a dog.
I love the line where she goes, "Well, I'll just have to lay here." She goes, "You can't lay here. What about the tide?" Because every single time I'm like, "Oh shit, the tide! Tides are real.
The tide's coming."
It was one of those things like, okay, well, I was not freaking out then, but now you're telling me I could also just die from drowning. Like,
yeah.
Oh boy, that was maybe information that poor little Beth, like, although
then you would be every inch of water that would go up, you'd be so freaked out.
I think you freaked out anyway.
Yeah.
My favorite part of watching the movie with Steven was I was waiting for the part where like she's like almost drowning and it's like right up against her face. She's like an inch away from death. And when they showed that, Steve was like, "Oh shit,
she's almost dead.
Oh
she's gonna drown."
Yeah. I want to go real high."
For real, like her ears, like she would have an ear infection from that. Like that is not pleasant to just be like laying your ears in water.
I was the whole time I'm going, there's no way she could like sit up or at least put her elbows behind her.
There's the moment where she's like, and then she resigns herself to having to lay.
She has no core strength at all.
You see the effort.
She's trapped under a rock and her arms
she has a busted
not
arm.
broken.
Yeah. Also, she's a lazy city kid, guys. She isn't
True.
Yes,
Jody could have like propped something under her back or something, right?
she did. Yeah, she put something under her head.
Yeah, it was the back.
Her head, yeah, but like put a full rock under her back to prop her up. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's a movie, you guys.
I mean, I
How
agree
is
with
she
you,
gonna get
Jason.
that rock there, huh? Could move the other rock.
She's got a whole
Did you-
cave full of knickknacks.
Sometimes
Yeah.
things have to happen so that you can have the moment where like, oh shit.
Yeah,
We
lean her up
keep
against
going
that TV she
down.
stole from the elementary school.
Surely she could have been sat up, and then they could have the water at her neck. Even
That would give her at
would've been
least like
fine.
another hour.
Yeah.
of
Okay.
non-drowning time.
So bear with me. It's like come with me on this journey for a second here. So there are children who clearly just do not think things out very well and have found themselves into a mountain that a girl has stolen a bunch of shit and put in there. I'm not sure that there was a lot of planning when they were both freaking out about her being stuck. And these kids are dumb. Like they're like, maybe she didn't think of doing that. Like they're
I guess.
children in a panicky situation. Honestly, that's the most believable thing.
Yeah.
But that's
I certainly
undone by
wasn't
her
believing the
being
tide work.
super chill by the meeting a bear and just like staying still and not getting eaten by the bear.
She's-
Credits.
She's clearly afraid of it,
Yeah.
but she also knows that if she reacts, the bear will kill her because she's a country. Like we have a lot of coyotes in the neighborhoods now. Like a city person might run away from a coyote, but you're supposed to be like clap, clap, or just like back away. Like I said, like you just, what she did is how you react to a bear.
Right.
She was
Yeah,
so
she did
tired.
good. She didn't freak out.
Also, she has an abusive like home life. You think a bear screaming at her is like something that her
That's
body
not even
is
the worst
trained
thing that's
just
happened to
shut
her.
down.
Yeah, it's not even the worst thing that's happened to
Today.
her that day. Yeah. She
Poor
stabbed her
fucking
Jody.
stepdad. Her friend got crushed by a rock and is drowning. Her beautiful boat got destroyed. And I guarantee you all that chocolate got fucked up in the water.
Yeah.
She's been having a rough day. The bear, she was just like, whatever. But she did literally run until she collapsed.
Well, this is interesting to me because why did she do this little maneuver where she sees the cop,
Because she was scared.
cop goes by, and then
She
waits
thought the
to-
cops were looking for her because she
Yeah.
stabbed her.
Oh,
So
stepdad.
she thinks, like, wait, no, I'll wait for the next car. I'm gonna hide from this one because then I'll be in trouble. And then she changes her mind
Okay.
because what if there is no other car? Crap, Beth is gonna die. Don't have a lot of time. Can't be selfish. Whatever. And then waves it down.
Yeah.
'Cause
the
I kinda
original
thought
plan
that
was for her to
too.
find-
Oh, go ahead.
The original plan was for her to find like a regular plebeian car,
Motorist.
and then they would like call the cops, and she would hightail it out of there. Now she's
Yeah,
kind of
okay.
stuck with these cops.
That's
But yeah.
that's good insight.
My initial reaction was like, that seems like it was unnecessary, but I also understand why it's
Right.
there. It's to show her trepidation and her like her real
Absolutely.
fear of being like I'm a murderer. Like the cops are going to be looking for me.
I thought it was totally necessary though, because the movie doesn't want you to believe Jody. Like it does want you to question it. Like the what she says
you
about
believe.
stealing money out of her mom's purse in order to buy the motor for the boat. And then we hear Ray saying like, oh, we caught her red-handed trying to steal money out of, like, there's stuff like this movie has, it's like Megan. It has more to it than it really ought to. Like that it has any right of having. But that moment when I was just letting the movie take me, I was like, Jody, you're gonna be a little shit that lets like Beth like die because you're being selfish. Like, what are we supposed to believe in you? And then you see that she makes that like the right choice. It's very much a moral decision that she has to make there, a self-sacrificing decision. I think that's also what solidifies their friendship, is that like there's even though Jody almost got her killed, still a level of sacrifice. Like you can't almost get your friend killed like that and then not have to really dig yourself out of that in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Or am I just reading too much into this?
No,
No,
I think
I-
I think for sure. I never questioned. I was like, oh shit, the cops. Oh no! And then I was
Get
like,
out of there, Jody.
But like
Yeah.
I had watching
But then-
it, I had this same sort of like journey of like, no, but really we need help.
Yeah.
Jody, you don't have time for that.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
what happens? Oh, the cop does show up, and then she passes out, and he does some smelly salts under her nose, and is like, "What the heck's going on?" And
That is what he sounded like.
And I can like reenact the whole thing.
And then Beth is saved just in the nick of time by scuba cops who arrive in a helicopter. He's like, "We've deployed."
But Jody gives them a fake name because she's scared about being caught, so she tells them that her name is Molly Morgan.
Yes,
but she gets found out
pretty quickly too. They're like, "Yeah, I got Molly Morgan here," and you don't hear the other guy, but you can just imagine what he's saying. He's like, "There ain't no such name as a girl named Molly Morgan in this county. What are you talking about?"
You can kind of hear him say,
to Matt.
Yeah, you can kind of hear her name, like Jody's last name being said. Like you can kind of hear through them.
Right. Are you sure it isn't Jody? We're
looking
for Jody.
Nothing.
Yeah. And so she is she's rescued, but they also bring back a bunch of the shit that was in the cave, which I'm like, they wouldn't do that. Like they would get the girl out, they would not go back in and look through all her shit that she stole.
I also found that surprising because I remember that they had the TV at one point, and that's when they were like property of the school, but I couldn't remember where that was, and I was like,
because
maybe they did proper head up on the TV.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So the planted payoff, if you will, if you'll humor me, of like Beth being like, "Is that TV from the school?" And then them being like, "Is this TV from the school?"
Yeah.
You're like,
it is.
You're like, Jody has stolen it.
She's her whole all of the stuff in there. I think the implication is that she either stole money to buy it or stole it just straight up.
I don't have more bears in my.
I know. I was really enjoying that. Like the ladies are like, "Ooh, like all cozy." Yes, tell me more.
So at the hospital, we find out, surprise, that Ray is not dead, and not only that, he doesn't even look remotely injured. Like he's not like wincing or limping or anything. But we do find out later that he was indeed stabbed. He was like, "Yeah, he stabbed me with a dang fishing pole.
That little jerk stabbed me with a fishing rod. What the hell, man?"
Yeah.
So did anybody have any time where they were like, "Jody's a liar"? Like Jody's lying.
Yes.
Most of it.
Ray is actually telling the truth.
When Ray made the comment about Cotter stealing red-handed, I was like, well, she does do that.
Yeah. The way I was looking at it is that I'm like, it's probably all true, and it's just like from a certain perspective, everything that's being said is in fact true here. It's just that
Jody's perceiving it to be,
but everything that Jody says I believed. I just think that like her sense of urgency is heightened because this is a man that could easily kill her or her mother, and we do discover later that Ray is like a sick fuck who is actually like beating the fuck out of them. But Ray also probably is one of those guys that when he's sober is probably pretty nice, and then as soon as he puts a bottle of vodka to his mouth, he gets punchy and like starts to do stuff that he shouldn't be doing. And then
he seems kind of like a piece of shit whether he's drunk or not.
Okay.
Yeah, like I would see through that in 2 seconds. I'd meet that guy and be like, "You are a liar."
But later in the movie, you hear Jody say, like, "Actually, Ray's been pretty nice." Like when he's talking to Beth, he's like, "He's actually been kind of nice to me."
Because he wants the maps. She knows that he's just being nice to her to try and get her gold.
No, I know that, but what I'm saying is that there are probably moments that he does that in her life, right? So I'm like, when I say Ray is probably a nice guy when he's sober, I mean he acts like a nice guy, or he has the ability to be a nice guy.
Sorry.
Also, I was surprised when Ray said, she's trying to get that gold from the mountain or whatever. Clearly, Jody's boasting about this gold to like anybody that'll listen, is what it seemed like when I heard him say that. So it's not so secret.
What you were talking about, and I'm so sorry, is an abuse cycle. Like now I see what you're saying, where like you're nice to someone, you beat them up, you like you're bad, you beat them up, you apologize, so I'm sure he does have exactly. Sorry, that is what you were saying. My bad.
It's okay.
I don't think Jody's blabbing about the gold though. I think Ray like maybe like found the book or
Maybe found the book.
yeah, because she said like he found the book or something.
And they've
I don't
been.
think she's telling a lot of
living
people.
with
It's
her-
like she barely told Beth.
Yeah, and she's always like, Beth, like, don't freaking tell anybody, right? Like, she's.
Or I'll stab you with a fishing rod. I swear to fucking God, I've done it before.
It doesn't seem like she's the kind of person that gets a lot of privacy. And then he has been living with them for a while. So you also have a much younger version of Jody who may have let certain things slip, or somebody who didn't know what kind of person Ray was. And then, like.
Yeah. I mean, there's also the possibility that Beth told the Matt about what was going on, and then Matt told Ray about it, right? Because I think she does. She tells a lot of what's going on.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
Because they're buddies
Tells
or
her
whatever.
mom.
Yeah,
and then mom probably tells her new boyfriend.
Yeah, and mom is definitely doing the three-legged race with the cop.
Oh God!
If you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, yeah, this is the movie. Kind of like has like a sprint to the cave again after this. We get like a little bit of a reprieve from all the adventuring, but then Jody vanishes once again from her home, and everyone's like, "Where the fuck is Jody?" And there's some sort of fair going on, right? Like
it's the 4th of July.
Oh, right, it's the 4th of July. Yeah, I forgot.
You can timeline this movie pretty well because the solstice is the 21st or the 22nd, and then there's the July 4th. So it takes place between June 20th and July 7th, I would say.
Okay, so as with the queer reading, what about the scene when they're at the 4th of July picnic and those boys are like kind of like clearly into Beth, and Beth is just like,
and she's like,
okay.
Yeah.
But then she says to Jody, like, there are some cute boys.
Yeah, I think that was maybe her trying to be like,
yeah,
come over here. I can get these people to like you if we just try and be nice. Like I've told everybody about how cool you are and nice you are. It's like, come prove it to them. But all
Jody's
like,
dressed like a pirate, so we all know.
She is. She's just like Han Solo at this point.
She's cleaning at the school. She's making up for all her stealing.
Her sins.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Her reaction.
Then her mom. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No.
I wasn't going to say anything interesting.
Nor I. Her reaction when she sees Jody, like the reaction of like putting down things and being uninterested in the boys, versus it like is contrasted immediately with how she responds to Jody, which is like I don't know. This movie is very slow paced, and I think this is the kind of movie that as a kid I would have been like, boring. Where's the Little Mermaid? Like, give me the Winnie the Pooh cartoon or a book. But it allows itself to have these like actually emotional moments because it's so slow and kind of meandering in some spots.
Interesting.
And then we get to see all those Canadian children simping over Beth, being like, "You want a hot dog? You want a hamburger? I swear I'll get you the best hamburger that was ever baked." And she's just like, "I'm good, thank you. I gotta go talk to my friend in the bushes." But as soon as Beth's mom sees Jody, she sprints away, comically slow, I will say. Like
but I really loved that because the mom says, "Oh, I didn't mean her to make her like I didn't mean for her to run away," and I was not expecting that. I don't know what I was expecting, but not that. Like, it's
she had a nice turnaround. She came around, and then she says, "You can see her," and that's the reason why they go to the house and realize, oh shit, something's happened.
Yeah, mom got beat up. Ray lost his
mind. And
then
Beth is like so excited to go the next day. Like she's in the car honking her horn, be like, "Come on,
yeah,
it's so cute." Yeah, the mom is so sweet.
Yeah, she's a good mom. She's a nice mom, and there's only that one moment where she's like, "No, you have to listen to me. Like, I'm your fucking mom. Can you stop being a little fuck?"
Which is fair because she almost got herself killed, and there is a moment in which you're like, I let her go out and she almost died.
Yeah.
You know,
can't let that happen again. But then after they discover Jody's mom has been beat up by Ray, the cops
to the point of death.
To the point that she's like unconscious. Yeah. I thought she was dead for a minute. I was like, no way, there's a corpse. Is this a corpse? Is this a corpse right now? Are we?
I
seeing a
thought
corpse
she was
in this
dead for a
movie?
moment too, and was like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past this movie.
So
'cause it
far,
just
this
took a
movie has done
dark
a
turn.
lot of stuff I wasn't expecting. But they're like, oh god, we gotta find Ray, and then this is when Beth just becomes like a full blown detective, like true detective level crime.
She turns
solver.
into Batman. Yeah, like
Yeah, but very high pitched. It was like as much as Batman is low, she's like, "Come on, we're ready. Let's go."
She's like, I know exactly what happened.
It's
Yeah.
so. I remember that from a kid being like, that part is too shrill.
Too shrill even for me.
fuck. Sorry, before we move,
Swear to me.
before I forget. Yeah, Jody's accent is so I'm from Chicago. Like it's, the way she says things, I was like, this is not a Hollywood accent. This girl is
Chicago.
speaking in like her full Chicago, like sure she's from the Pacific Northwest. Sure.
I do love though that she just breaks down the crime to like its very facets, and she's 100% correct in every single piece of what's happened.
You need a boat. Check if a boat has been stolen.
Yeah. Yeah, she might as well be like, deputy, call down to the docks and see if anybody's boats have been stolen in the last 24 hours.
That's what she
Literally
says.
what happened.
Get Commissioner Gordon on the
and then
That's
phone.
actually what she said.
and then when they say, "Oh, the boat has been reported missing," she goes, "It's kind of obvious."
She's like, duh.
Yeah.
Ray stole it. She took Jody with him, and now they're in the mountain looking for
He
Molly
got
Morgan's soul.
smashed.
And the way the dad cop guy was just like, can you also check to see if any have been stolen? And the mom is like,
I think we should listen to her, man. Like we should like let's go.
Okay,
And then she was just
the one
literally
thing-
running the show.
I thought at the end of the
Completely.
movie, when the sheriff shows up at the barbecue, he was going to be like, Beth, Jody, there's been a double homicide and we need your help on the case. Like, that's how good she was at solving this fucking crime.
she's become a consultant like Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, like true.
That's
That's
the
the sequel.
sequel.
Yeah.
When she's a consulting detective for the police.
Yeah, they do. They shouldn't do True Detective season 5, and it's Christina Ricci and what's her name, the other
Anna
person.
Anna
Chomsky.
Chomblus.
They're playing their same characters, but they're the True Detective.
The finest woman I know.
Yeah.
So one part that made me go like, ooh, is when she's like, no, that guy is bad. And dad cop is like, well, I've known that guy my whole life. And I'm like, that's such a classic line. You did know that guy your whole life.
Yeah.
You did.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I've known this guy my whole life.
Yeah. Harvey Weinstein, he's only ever been nice
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Believe women.
P. Diddy, not guilty.
Guilty, but not in the way you think he is, which is actually kind of what happened.
Dinkies.
Guilty of the minor charge. Sorry.
Yeah. We don't have to get into.
No, wait, that was R.
what they
Kelly
were
who's guilty of the minor charge.
Yeah.
Ayo.
No, Molly Morgan was guilty of the minor charge, impersonating a minor.
Yes. And we come around.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I think my brain has split into two. I'm trying to distract this dog.
It's a very cute dog. So they finally agree to take Matt agrees to take Beth to the mountain because she explains like, no, there's a million fucking caves and you won't be able to find your fucking way to the top, but I know how to get there. I saw the map and
That's
you
exactly
didn't."
what she did.
Yeah.
And the sheriff is even like, "Oh,
He's like,
she's right. Okay, you have to
Yeah.
come with us."
Let me get an extra flashlight. Let's go.
And she's like running. He's like, I got you. I'm keeping up. And she's like, don't they make you guys work out or
Yeah,
something?
you just have to exercise as part of your like daily regimen.
She's just reading him for filth. It's amazing.
It is
Yeah.
crazy though, because it's like the longest running around a cave montage. Like I get the movie really wanted to make you feel how deep into the cave they were, but it's the same, like it's almost like the same 80-yard line over and over again. Like every time they turn a corner, it's like, Beth, slow down, Beth. No, fuck, I'm windy, Beth. Slow down. Beth, come back here, slow down.
Anyone else get the vibe that Beth's confidence like significantly increased, like that her
Yes.
storyline
Yeah.
is about like putting her foot down and like being more assertive, even in the way that she allowed Jody to tease her and was kind of like, well, I can't go back, I have to follow around, like the trepidation of being in that new environment. And like she's Jody has changed her for the better, so I think what I'm
Yeah.
I
trying to
agree.
say.
I
But
did
also
notice
the
that.
both of them, like the fact that they, at first Beth is in grave danger, and it like spurs Jody into this feat of superhuman strength and ability to swim across an entire lake, run through a whole forest, fight a bear, and then confront
Just
a cop.
cross the state.
Yeah.
She's just Forrest Gump.
Yeah, it's very impressive. And then Jody being in danger causes Christina Ricci's character to become literally Batman. And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
the world's greatest detective, Beth. We all
She
know her.
says, like, Jody saved my life, now I save hers. That's
Yeah,
how
and
it
she's
works.
like, dun, 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 dun,
And
dun.
that's why this movie can be read as just like a very solid friendship and like an empowering sort of like learn how to get your feelings together and persevere through a thing that you have to do. Like there's no time for us to like punk around with any of those vibes. It's quite powerful actually if you're an 8-year-old girl.
Mhm.
That the scene of them running around the cave was comically long. I have it on 2x speed just so I can glance over and see where we're at in the movie, and it's still going for like what would be 4 minutes.
Somebody put the Benny Hill theme on.
Yeah. And it's a lot of
They
like
have to,
behind
they have
the
to jump over.
oh yeah, the tiny hole. And she
The
jumps
tiny
over and she's like,
hole.
I fucking did it. And he's like, all right, I guess.
Slow
He's like,
down, Beth.
come on, you're the sheriff.
Well, yeah. And then we go back to that. She didn't want to jump on the
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're so right.
She was
She's too
scared.
scared to go across the thing, and now look at her.
She's not scared
Yep.
at all.
She didn't even.
And
she
she's
didn't
like,
even want to
"City
go up in
girl."
the cave. Yeah,
Yep.
like Jody's like, we go up there, and
Yeah.
Jody's like, fuck we do. And
Yeah.
now look at her.
And then she doesn't even know exactly where she's going, but she just figures it out.
Yeah, and she figures it out. She remembers the map slightly, but then also like
Because she's Batman.
she's
And
Batman.
She
Yeah.
lives in a cave.
Exactly.
And the bats were
familiar.
telling her where to go.
Yeah, she
Oh
was
yeah,
using
earlier when she's like,
echolocation.
"There's
She
bats
didn't
in
like
here?"
the bats at the first, and now they're friends.
Now she is a bat. And
They formed her just like Batman,
That's
just
the
like the
sequel.
bats formed
Yeah.
young.
Oh my
Bruce
god,
Wayne.
yeah. Batman is the sequel.
Yeah, Christina Ricci is Batman.
I
would watch
emerged
that
from
movie.
the cave, and now I am
Not-
Batman with colors.
Not Batgirl, not Batwoman. Specifically, she
Batman.
is Batman.
Batman. No, that doesn't make sense.
Beth.
Batman?
Batman.
Yeah, Batman.
Batman. It's not as good. Keep dropping my little fidget toy.
Batman, yeah.
And
You
then
want this fidget toy?
of course there's the one moment that proves that she is the world's greatest detective, which is the sheriff is like, we're never gonna find him in here, and then she's like, well, how about that? And it's like a footprint, and he's like, oh yeah, it looks pretty fresh too. Right.
She's gone.
Yeah.
It's the latter half. So the first half is kind of like very serious and grim. The middle is kind of boring. Then it turns into like, is she gonna die? Like moral trolley problem movie, and then it's a comedy.
It
Like a
is like,
wacky
but it's
comedy,
also
too.
still pretty serious at this point. Like it's goofy shit that's happening, but like it's
More
also,
jokes
like,
are happening per like capita though than in the entire like first 40 minutes of the movie.
Matt as the sheriff being like winded and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, oh,
he's,
God.
he's
It's-
playing it up.
He's like,
yeah,
the air
he's
is
the
so
comic
thin up
relief.
here. Oh,
Yeah.
this mountain's huge.
Okay.
But then
Do
he's
you know who would have been able to save everybody? Lassie.
yeah. poor
Okay,
Lassie,
so
yeah.
I when I was watching this movie, Lassie is another one of my favorite childhood movies, and there was a Lassie movie in the 90s because Michelle Williams was in
There
it.
sure was. Yep.
Yes, there
And
was.
I fucking love
I
that
forgot
movie.
about that.
We watched
Corey
it for my
Sevier was
birthday
the
this year,
main
and it was the best. It was the best, and there's a lot of I was getting a lot of Lassie vibes from this. I thought it was very interesting that those are my two favorite movies. Also, both have great soundtracks.
My therapist says that it's really meaningful that my favorite characters were orphans. and that's made me sad for about 3 weeks now. Carry on.
So yeah,
Very interesting.
they split up. The cop and Christina Ricci split up unintentionally. He goes towards the light, and she goes towards a different light. Ooh, the light created by the crystals. And then as she's going down this sort of like partially lit, it almost sort of looks like aquatic light, but it's like glass reflecting light. She finds Jody, or Jody finds her, I guess. She gets jumped by Jody, and now they're together again at last. But they're like, let's find the light. And she's like, Ray's up here somewhere. He's fucking drunk. He's wasted. He's got a gun. And they continue to follow the light, and they, of course, find the chamber full of crystals. And this is very sort of 80s fantasy to me. Just the aesthetic of this chamber in general reminded me a lot of like, not necessarily a specific 80s dark fantasy movie, but just like that vibe in general. I was like, it was fun.
I would have been fine. Like I would have half expected to see that little guy, the little like fuzzy thing that's like or like some Fraggles crawling out.
Yeah, Fraggle Rock.
That would have ruined everything for me.
Oh, yeah, no, does not fit for the vibe of this movie.
I need dramatic reality at all times.
They find Molly Morgan, and she's a crazy Muppet.
He's like, hello, children. Welcome to the mountain.
And they go, no.
Would you like some glowworms?
She got a pot of glowworms.
So Animal is the Muppet. That's no, but if this had been in the 80s, you would have had more of that like sort of plasticky, like fake looking shit in this movie. It just, that's my vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's some of those 80s movies. They really went to town on especially the Jim Henson-y stuff. They like.
No, I mean like the 80s had more was it magical realism?
Right, like everything's a matte painting kind of thing. Yeah,
just like fantasy elements.
Yeah, and like the fantasy elements are just like part of the world, and they're much more believable. And so this had a wisp of it where you're like, oh, is there actually magic here, right?
Well, we have come to the big question,
and we still don't really have a true answer, because either this lady is 100 years old in the mountain, or she's a ghost or something.
She's a ghost.
She is.
Then who gave them the gold?
Who can send gold through the mail?
Yeah,
or leave it on a doorstep, I suppose.
She has
she
got
lost.
She is a legally represented mountain woman.
Oh yeah, that's right. She was just an old prospector. Also,
there's gold.
There's gold in your bags. The thing that I kind of recognize about this movie too is it could have been made in the 1980s and be the exact same movie and look virtually the same because of the low budget. Yeah.
And we're gonna rely on Vancouver or like to just be British Columbia.
Yeah,
it's like Middle Earth in New Zealand, really.
Yeah, true. But yeah, they enter the crystal chamber, and if we didn't describe it accurately, it's basically like these sort of like pillars of stone that are crusted with these crowns of giant, beautiful crystal rock that is just reflecting light from a small hole in the cave into this entire chamber, basically lighting the whole chamber with these crystal stones. And beyond that, it looks similar to that, but there's like a million of them, and there's giant ones.
But for some reason they couldn't get them to glimmer right, so they had to like animate in the glimmer, which I thought was interesting.
They did not.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
They did not.
They did. I'm telling you. Some of it's real. Some of it's an actual glimmer. But the little sparkles are like are over top of the movie, like animated in. You can see it pretty clearly.
I have a lot of stuff in this room.
I'm gonna fact check Jason.
That crystal is not.
I've been doing a good job lately of not just saying things. I'm watching the movie while we're talking about it.
Because he's a good host.
I'm trying to make this show better by not being blabby.
I can't wait to
bullshit,
hear,
man. I am bullshit, man.
I'm excited.
This is what
to
it looks
hear
like.
Your thoughts. Yeah, that's exactly right.
I was gonna pull up a picture, but
shine a light.
Except they're translucent and shimmering. Yeah,
and giant.
Oh, there we go. Combine the two things that Noel and Caitlin have. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah. Is that just your phone flashlight?
That's correct. Yeah.
To everyone listening on this later when it's put up in podcast form, you gotta go see the video. It's
You
You
worth
gotta
it.
watch the video version for that. It was amazing.
So many
It's an amazing
bears.
special effect. Probably the greatest special effect we've ever had on the program.
$9 million, please.
Yeah.
And so at this point they find a small alcove in the room that they're like, oh my god, it's gold. And then they go inside and it's a bunch of horrifying mealworms that are glowing gold for some reason. And they're like, they're glowworms. And I'm like, I don't think the glowworms glow gold, do they? But
Also, those are clearly like mealworms.
like mealworms,
Like whatever
yeah.
the
Also, the air there's pretty thin, so like,
they're just hallucinating.
Yeah.
it's been a rough day. So.
And then this is about the moment where Ray shows up and he's like, where you told me there was gold up here. And then he sees the shimmering alcove and he sticks his gross face in there and he's like, worms, you're trying to make a fool out of me.
Yeah.
Like Kaylin said, I was like, wait, what a weird thing to say. That's like, I remember when I was a kid one time, my dad put like pop in the fridge, right? In one of those sleeves of soda. And I opened it. And you know how like they would have those like things where you pull it out and it like auto loads the next one or whatever.
Mhm.
So one time he went to go get one out and it like hit it and it opened it up and they all just flew out at him. And like I heard it from down the hallway and he came in and just yelled at me for like 5 minutes. And I was like, what do you think? I booby trapped the fucking fridge? Like, what the hell? Like, why are you yelling at me? I'm sorry you had a moment of bad luck, but it was not my fault that
But
shit.
then meanwhile, your sister's like, excellent.
So
Passing the buck.
Yeah, I think I did.
And would you say that was the Home Alone of it all of your life?
Of my life, yeah. Where I was like, I was gonna think of a funny Home Alone line to say, but I couldn't think of a good one.
Plus his girlfriend, woof.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You wish you could make your family disappear.
I was gonna say like I ran away and I said, I'm still alive, come and get me. When he goes up the stairs or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you could have told him. Oh no, this is a good one because it was about pop. Do you give up or are you thirsty for more?
Okay, that's the best
You
one.
just say
That's
that
the
to
winner.
him right in that moment. Yeah.
That's Noel's blacklight that they take the hotels,
Wow.
everything. They stay over to check the room and then go complain at the front desk.
The
The room is filthy.
Ew.
There's blood everywhere.
Yeah. It's either
Correct.
Yeah.
Or a
I
rental
said
truck?
blood because the other things are not.
It's either blood, piss, or semen. Oh, I hope it's urine.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, we do hope it's urine.
Yeah. Where are we at? Oh yeah, and then Ray shows up and then he threatens them and he pulls out a gun. He's being evil.
But
Ray.
wait. Beth somehow is not here at this point because they get separated because then but I don't remember how because Ray is starting to like attack Jody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think
then,
maybe I think that they run maybe and they split up. Yeah, they run and they split up and then they don't know where they are and then they're both yelling.
oh yeah, and their
and then
voices are
and then
bouncing
Ray-
around.
Yeah.
And the cop is
and then
also hearing
Ray-
them. It's kind of a
Ray
confusing.
finds Jody.
Good, yeah, it's a
I'm
good scene.
here.
though.
Where's here?
Yeah, it's
I
like,
don't know what
I
that
don't
means.
know. I
It's
don't know. I
it's
don't
such
know.
the audio design on it is so wacky because like it's good in moments and in other moments it's like, whoa, that voice sounds like it's right in your face, and then another one is like nice and faintly echoed. But that also gave me sort of like an 80s fantasy movie vibe of like the confusing caves of Bear Mountain where everything bounces in a way that makes no fucking sense. But then yeah, he's gonna kill her or whatever. He's threatening to kill her, and then he gets classic like boom, and he gets knocked out with a shovel.
Also very Home Alone. That's
Yeah.
what you said actually. You were
I
like,
did
"Is
say
it
that. I
Home
was like,
Alone?"
whoa.
How Home
it's like
Alone
Home
1
Alone.
ends, pretty
Yeah.
much.
So, yeah, Home Alone is the only time anyone's ever been hit by a shovel, by the way.
But I
It
mean,
is.
an elderly
Digger's
person
Bedroom
saving a
Mountain.
child. Yeah.
I actually don't like. You'd think that that'd be used more,
Mhm.
but I think Chris Columbus might actually be a genius.
I think that he is a genius.
What about the shoveler from Mystery Men? Noel, you were on for that episode, weren't you?
Yeah.
That was after Home Alone.
No, I know. I'm just saying that there's a guy named the shoveler who smashes 1
Literally,
million
that's his
people.
power.
Shovels.
Yeah,
And he shovels well.
I shovel very well.
No, but it's great. Death by shovel.
Death by shovel. Also, is it if Molly Morgan is a ghost, does this shovel just float over and hit him?
Yeah, boom. It's a ghost shovel.
She's
Yeah.
not a ghost.
No, she's real.
Yeah, she's real. She's
She's
real.
an 80-year-old human woman who lives.
I mean,
on a
she
mountain.
looks 80. It
I
doesn't
don't
look
think
like
she
she's like a young
doesn't
lady.
have to live in the mountain. She doesn't have to live in the mountain. I think that she lives very comfortably not in the mountain.
Yeah, she's got a.
She had like
she's got a
nice
police-
clothes. She had a
She's
nice
got a
haircut.
police. She's got a
Okay.
police
She's got sacks of
scanner.
gold.
She's
I
got a
have a
police
theory.
scanner. I have a theory too. This is
I
my
have a
theory.
theory. Okay, go.
Okay. She has a police scanner and she hears Matt on the radio being like, "We're going up to Bear Mountain. There's a girl up there with her psychotic stepdad. I'm going up there with a little girl and we need to make sure that they're okay." And she's like, she's on the police scanner. She turns it off and she looks at her wall of shovels and like mining pickaxes. And she's like, pickaxe, shovel. And then she goes to the mountain and she just follows them up in there and then waits
Going
until
back to
the
Bear
moment
Mountain.
to strike. Yeah.
Now, my theory.
Oh my God.
Play the series one again.
There's nothing else in this movie that is magical. Like everything's very, very rooted in reality. So there's actually no reason to believe that that's not actually Molly Morgan. And I think they didn't find the gold. I mean, there was way too much going on. They didn't find the gold, but I think the gold was there. And it was around the time when you needed to like have access to that cave, right? Like the magical time. So I think Molly Morgan had left wherever the hell she was to go back to the mountain and get the gold. And she just happened to be there while that happened. And of course, she didn't want to like stick around because she had to wait till everyone left so that she could get the gold. And then she was like, these little girls, because she saw them, like she knew where they were afterwards. But I think she was just going to the mountain.
Right.
Okay.
She goes once a year to excavate a couple bags of gold and just
So
Or
she
just
knows where the
to-
gold is.
Yeah, or maybe she's not actually. That's a very good point. Maybe she just takes an excursion there once a year because it's an extremely meaningful place for her.
and maybe she grabs some gold if she needs it. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she's already gotten all the gold. You know, she just has it under her shack.
I have a
There's
theory
really-
actually.
Ooh.
Oh my God, another theory. She's a ghost. Oh,
Oh my, the dunk-a-dunk.
it's
That's my
Robobutt.
theory. I just wanted to also interject that like they talk about earlier, the cops kind of add to the legend by being like, we picked up somebody from the mountain area
Yes.
because they were up there making
Making
moonshine.
moonshine.
That's- so I wonder how that like was that this woman like 20 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was just found in the woods, and they're like, you can't moonshine.
Like I said, there's no reason to believe that anything in this movie isn't real.
Yeah,
God bless it.
yeah. I mean, the only
It's
moment
basically a documentary.
yeah, this really happened. Back to Bear Mountain. I was gonna say bare minimum, the Bear Mountain story, and I don't know why that popped into my head. I'm like, what does that even mean?
And me,
I was gonna say
I went,
Bareback Mountain, and then I didn't.
I was just thinking Brokeback Mountain and was like, maybe that's the sequel.
Ah! But Jody had said that she could feel Molly like watching her in the woods, and she felt very safe
Right.
knowing that Molly was out there. So maybe like Molly's been kind of keeping tabs on Jody. She's just come across her. She's like noticed like, who's this person kind of like in the woods also, and has just been keeping an eye out for her. So with
Like a reverse Jason Voorhees.
so since she's like keeping an eye out for her, she kind of knew that she was around the mountain. So she's just been keeping.
I mean, that would be ultimately like super comforting if you're in the middle of the woods and you just feel the eyes of someone comforting on you, protecting you when you're in there, as opposed to like how I feel when I'm in the middle of the forest, which is like there's a million things looking at me right now that want to kill me. They want me dead.
Like Jody says that she knows the mountains better than anybody, but the mountain lady would know the mountains
Oh, yeah.
better than she did. So she would be able to know where to watch her from and other entrances around the cave or whatever, right? Like
Totally.
She'd also be able to immediately evade all of them after smoking Ray in the head with a shovel. She'd be like, down the slide hole.
Yeah.
Spits her out into the lake down at the bottom.
Yeah.
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 She knows it
totally.
all. She's got her own map, and it's way
Oh.
better
and it's in her head.
in her head.
Yeah. And she's just lived there for decades.
And then after this, they reunite with the cop. Ray spouts some more bullshit, and at this point, we're all like, Ray, it's not going to work this time, Ray. And you can see in Matt's face just this like melting visage that he has of his friend of 20 years or whatever, just deteriorating in front of his eyes. And he's like, take him away. This guy's a scumbag, and he always has been. I should have known that questionable night on prom night all those years ago. We should have beaten the shit out of you back then, you dickhead. And he goes to jail. I can't remember for how long, but he does go to jail.
I don't think that they say, but what I thought was interesting is in the voiceover, Beth's older self voiceover, she goes, poor Ray, they sent him to jail or something.
Yeah.
They sent him to jail.
Yeah, I was like, poor Ray.
I read that as sarcasm, but I don't know.
She said it very genuinely.
And the voice is like one of the most decorated voice actors in all of history.
Yeah, I looked it up afterwards, and I was like, "Oh,
so
she's in everything."
She would tell us what she meant.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I had absolutely no sympathy for Ray whatsoever that I just assumed it was meant to be snark, but I guess not. If I'm the only one.
I mean,
that way.
I think people sometimes have empathy or pity for people who are evil, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's what I did kind of like it because there's just so much emotion tied up into the whole thing, and it's just so emotional.
I think Jason died.
Yeah.
What? No, I was just reading something about the movie. Sorry.
I'm at okay. So we're very close to the end. So let's get to the end, and I'd love to hear what Jason thought.
Yes. So
the first freeze frame.
It's just isn't the end just like the end is the mom.
They're at BBQ.
Well, but also she's reunited with her mom, and her mom is super apologetic. Jody's mom is super apologetic for the way she's been treating her, and she's like, the realization comes crashing down, and it's like, all this denial that she's been going through about her relationship with this horrible man, and the way that she's been allowing herself and her boyfriend to treat her daughter is just like, I've almost destroyed you, and it almost killed you, and he almost killed you, and I'll never let that happen again. And it's an emotional moment, but you're like, I really hope that it went beyond that. And the barbecue sort of proves that like there is at least some sort of building happening there, or reparation happening there.
Well, yeah, it says the family, right? Like,
yeah,
that's starting to look like a family.
Yeah.
But I think that Beth meant that about her mom and Matt. She's like, that was the first time I realized.
But then you see, like in that shot, you see.
Yeah, but that's
Jody
true.
And,
yeah.
So it's and if she's that connected to Jody, and Jody's mom has like Lynette has not a lot, like there's clearly a very strong support system. This like little unit of people, right?
Yeah. And none of the shitty, gossipy neighbors are there. It's just them, just the people, the players.
It's gonna make a terrible joke. I will not. So
what? They're a throuple now or something?
No, I was like, yeah, the girl died of a drug overdose. So she's
yeah. Turns out those girls are.
I made the terrible joke anyway.
Oh,
you didn't allow me to workshop that one with my therapist first.
Sorry. We'll do Gold Diggers again in 3 weeks and come back and make the joke properly.
So this is not me joking. This is like actually. So they said that it was really, really televised.
Oh.
Didn't they? That like the story was everywhere.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, their story. I thought you meant the girl who died of the overdose.
No. Sorry.
Yeah. So when they go to get their reward or whatever, when they go to the mysterious benefactor thing. They say, "Oh, I would recognize you two anywhere. I couldn't turn on my TV without hearing about you guys."
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
guy. That guy's in a million Canadian TV shows and stuff too. He's in like Goosebumps, all that stuff when we were kids.
And it made me think of like the one place where we do see technology. Like they're living in this little insular place, but everyone's been able to see them. And for some reason, it reminded me of the case of Sally Horner, who was abducted. It was like the real life Lolita, abducted and taken over state lines, and how like it was all over the news, but there wasn't any proper like supports for her or therapy or whichever. And it just fit this movie. Like it's like everyone's seen it, but then in the real version of this, people are going to be a little more fucked up than just happy with gold, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's a
There's gonna be
pretty
a little bit of trauma.
dark thing to go through, like much darker than the movie like gives you at the end.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's a movie for 8-year-olds. I get it. It's not
Yeah.
like
They have kind of a
True.
fucked up week.
It's been, I mean, within 24 hours, she almost drowned in a cave, stuck under a rock, and then climbed a mountain with a cop and beat down a fucking, horrible, abusive man in
That was
search
weeks
for
later.
gold.
Yeah,
Was
that
it
was
weeks
that was a
later?
week later.
Oh,
yeah.
right. I forgot that it was. For
Yeah,
some reason,
it
my
was
brain was
like
like,
at least
It was
he kidnapped her
one-
that night. Yeah.
one crazy summer.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say about this movie too, like the way that the movie is formed when the movie ends, it feels like it's halfway through a much bigger, longer thing almost. And I said in my notes here, like this whole thing would have made a great like TV miniseries or a TV show, where that time that they kind of skip over, they could have been having these other little mini adventures.
Yeah.
And every week it's a very special episode because something horrible happens to them apparently.
Yeah.
Maybe the sequel is actually Fargo. All right.
Yeah.
Is Alan Chlumsky in that? The TV show?
I was talking about the movie.
Oh, the movie. Yeah.
I think that, if they were to do a miniseries, there would be a whole sort of arc where it's just Molly Morgan and you never really see her face. She's like controlling bears and shit. She's like, yeah! Like the bears.
Yeah,
are like,
Yeah.
You'd have to have the
Yeah.
Molly Morgan episode.
yeah.
I want to see
Yeah.
the gritty streaming like Riverdale style like version of this movie as a
Grit
miniseries.
this up for the sensible 20s
That was awful.
moviegoer.
Yeah.
I still
Yeah,
think
they get the gold
True
and
Detective.
yeah, I like the True Detective thing. This is a prequel to this season where it's these two return
Yeah. They return to Bear
So-
Mountain.
to find the Bear Mountain Strangler.
They get the gold, and we're kind of like to believe that the gold comes from Molly Morgan,
Yeah.
Yes.
but it's a mysterious benefactor.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think there's any other real explanation as to what it would be other than that, right? And like she never appears again, and she's
It could
basically
be somebody who saw them on TV. I mean, if you want to be cynical, just be like,
or
these
yeah, he's
girls
like,
wanted gold. I'll give them gold.
I'll give them all
Yeah.
the gold they can ever hold in one bag.
Oh, those
sack. Yeah.
poor girls went through so much. Why don't I send them this? They'll love it.
Yeah, and they'll think it was that crazy mountain lady.
That crazy ghost.
and we won't tell them who it is. But
This will be a real nice shoveling of trauma on top of the trauma they already experienced. I'm evil in the most mysterious way. I like it. I like a daddy
how
warbucks.
much? Okay, here's the other question: how much money do you think that gold is?
Probably not that much.
They
So we
said
did,
you were rich though.
yeah, but we did
Rich.
we did Ghost Ship a couple weeks ago, and our friend Alex was on, and he's like he's very knowledgeable about how much gold is worth and in certain forms and how much weight it would be and all that kind of stuff. Like, and he calculated out how much the gold would be worth from the ship in Ghost Ship, and that was like 7 crates of gold bars, like kilogram.
But like
gold
it's
bars.
$700 or $300 million worth of gold, and he was like, actually, it's more like $30,000 worth of gold.
No, he said that Yeah, in the movie, they're like, it must be worth $300 million. But then Alex is like, I calculated it out, no more than 450,000.
So you're
Yeah.
telling me
That's what it was.
we have to find the value of gold in 1980
Well, he did
and
that as
then
well.
figure it out and then adjust for inflation?
So what he did was in the movie Ghost Ship, the gold was from the 1960s. So he calculated the worth from the 1960s all the way up until what it would be worth at the time of release of that movie, which was when the movie was set. And
But gold doesn't appreciate in value like that.
Well, he gave us the values based on, I don't know how it fucking works. I'm not the gold expert. He is.
That's not how gold works.
Gold
Okay.
is like a stock you can trade, and the price does go up and down, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's exactly. So that's like gold doesn't appreciate in value.
So then
like
maybe
that,
he looked at
especially
what
if
the
it's
values were.
uncut.
I don't know. He's like he's
And-
a person who buys and sells gold at work or whatever. He's like a pawnbroker or whatever. So he has to like know the value of gold at all times.
He's a gold pawnbroker.
He's a gold man. Yeah.
He's
a gold man.
Oliver. Give me your
Well,
jewelry.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like an Oliver's jewelry guy. Yeah. That's good.
My
That's kind of a
point
better,
here is-
more accurate thing. Yeah.
Get this guy on the line. Like we have to figure
Right.
this
We
shit
need
out.
to know. Send him a
We message
screenshot
Alex
of
right
how much
now and be
gold-
like, Alex, how much is these 2 sacks of gold worth in 1980s dollars?
Exactly.
Probably
I mean,
not
I
that
can
much,
ask him.
you guys.
Let me mute. I'll see if
No.
he answers.
Oh my god. For real? Okay. Shall we I guess that's the end of the movie, eh?
Yeah, is
She's
there
like,
anything
"And
else
then
about
we're
the end of
rich?"
the movie?
They're rich.
They're rich
Two-
now.
2 freeze frames. They do the Jack and Rose spin, and it freezes.
The Jack and Rose spin.
I had
And
a
then the
question about
beautiful
the
song.
very when they walk up that like path at the very end and it does
Beautiful
the freeze frame. Was that a green
Yes.
screen? Like
Yes.
a really poorly
Yes.
made like
Yes.
I was like, what is
Yes.
why? They are in BC. Did they maybe they shot this on
No,
a
that-
soundstage like much later and
Yeah,
put it into the
that's what we
movie?
call a pickup. So they
Okay.
probably got back to editing and they're like, we can't just end it there. It's
We need a
not
second freeze frame.
because like it's zooming out on the shop as they're walking out with the bags or whatever, right? The bags of gold,
Yeah.
and that's probably where they intended it to end. But they're like, we need another bit of voiceover to like kind of catch us up or finish the job, and they didn't have anything left, so they're like, well, we'll just get them walking down a road towards the mountains. And then they're like, well, we're in California now, too far away from the mountains. We can only get them on this day for this amount of time. We'll just get them on a green screen and then we'll put a matte painting down. Because I did think the same thing. Remember, Caitlin, I was like, what the fuck? Why is it a
Why are
matte
we here
painting all
now?
of a sudden? Yeah.
So in 1980, so gold nuggets went up in value in 1980. There was a surge of pricing. So they were much more expensive in 1980 than gold was previous years. What's a troy ounce? I have the weight, I have the the amount for that. There's at least $850.
Oh, we're rich.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
$850 is more money than I've seen in all my 10 years of
You
existence.
can retire.
But
well, you could
what's
buy a
one
house for
troy ounce?
$60,000 in the 80s. So like
So one
all
troy
relative.
ounce is 28.35 grams. So whatever the weight of that was, it's $850 times $1980 times however many grams of that. So it's actually a
Pretty
decent
good.
amount of money.
Yeah.
Thanks, Molly Brown.
I mean, I assume a
I
big
mean,
sack of
Molly
gold
Morgan.
even now would be pretty good.
I got
Be
into
good to have
Titanic.
as opposed to not having it.
Molly Brown sandwiches.
I got I got into the unsinkable Molly Brown because I got into Titanic because I said Jack and
Oh, that movie is so good. I swear to God.
It's so good. I've been listening to this Titanic podcast, you guys. I thought I knew everything about the Titanic. I did not.
Do you know how many
podcast is
dogs
so long.
died on the Titanic? Did they go into that crazy shit?
I know how many lived.
One?
2 dogs lived.
out of how many were on it then?
1,500. Just kidding.
1,500. Oh my god.
No. That's just
1,400.
how-
Oh, that's a lot to die.
And the husbands and the wives, little children lost their lives. It was sad. So sad. Okay, go.
Was there dogs in the movie?
Yes, they were.
Yes.
I
They
haven't seen the
walked in
movie
there
that
and then
many.
it says, "Oh, it it's typical. Bring the dogs down here if the class take a shite.
Right. I remember that
So
part. now.
Tommy from Ireland is what he says.
I should watch that again soon. 'cause I've seen it
Stephen
a lot.
Waters, if you want to watch a little Titanic, your friend Kerwin is ready to go.
Oh my god, I'm so in.
I had a friend at work who had never seen Titanic, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And he was kind of like, "Well, now it's just a thing, and I don't think I'm ever going to see it." I was like, "I'm going to have a Titanic party, and you're going to come over." And I made a meal from the first class menu. I made like lamb rare with very little mint sauce, because that's what he says. And when you showed up, you could choose to have champagne to be in first class, or you could have a beer to be in third class. Oh. And we had like brandy. And then when they were at the third class party, we like paused and like had a little beer tasting, like danced to fiddle music. It was so fun. It was a very long party, and it took a long time to watch the movie, but like we all still like cried and felt it at the end. And he was converted. He was like, Titanic's a great movie. Like,
two VHS tapes.
Well, I'll be goddamned.
So
I have one question about the party. Did you hide a diamond in someone's coat?
I put diamond on the coat.
Diamond the coat on. Yeah.
That's so funny that you say that, dude. Because that Matty P, he once made me a birthday card with a drawing of Cal with a speech bubble saying, "I put the coat on her."
There's a chance that I drew that. I remember him getting me to draw that. Oh, really? It might. I don't know if it was for
amazing.
But it could have been. Yeah.
I mean, it's very specific to me.
Yeah.
That's so.
So my husband had also never. My husband had also never seen Titanic, and he doesn't like any movies. And even he was just like, wow, this is actually like really well put together. And the two VHSs thing is great because the first VHS is a love story, and then the second VHS is a fucking horror disaster movie.
Yeah.
It's like The Sound of Music.
Yes.
The first is nice. The second is Nazi running away.
Like literally running away from Nazis. But that's why I always yell, I know what ice fishing is, when people are trying to tell me.
Is that what you say?
Yeah, like when people are trying to tell me something that I know, I'm like, yeah, I know what ice fishing is because of what Rose says.
Dude, that is so cute. I always say, I need a knife. I feel like I probably said that the last time I was on the podcast. I feel like I was just talking in movie quotes, and probably 50% of them were Titanic ones. Anyway, Titanic is my other favorite movie.
Yeah, we need a new poster with Casper and Titanic on it.
I used to watch it just like let my emotions out. So it was very like, I don't know, I kept my emotions
I
in
have
and
a child.
Oh my god, there's nothing like no one else knows Titanic.
His mother's dead. I'm the only one he has. Yeah, I've always got it.
I've always got it in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, but my mom came home from work and I was like bawling my eyes out. She's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Jack died and he's not coming back." And she was like, "You need to stop watching that movie. Like it is not good for you."
Wasn't that the fourth time you've seen it?
So for one New Year's, I lined it up so that at like New Year at midnight, the Titanic hit the iceberg.
Interesting.
I've done the Death Star blowing up at midnight, and I've done the Great Gatsby where he's toasting to you with the fireworks behind.
The Titanic would be good though, because that is a whole evening because it's so long, right?
Yeah, and I'll be goddamned. Every single time they get to that freaking iceberg, I'm like, maybe this time.
Maybe they won't hit it this time.
Like, I don't know. That gives you that feeling. If you let the movie carry you, you're like,
it's so good.
Is it gonna? Oh, I shouldn't have let you eat that whole thing. Sorry.
Your child.
Yeah. The crunching is the sound of the Titanic hitting the iceberg.
Oh my god, you said that so perfectly. I have a child.
All right, so
when I'm doing my taxes,
we should probably get back to Gold Diggers, the movie that we're doing right now.
Your Home Alone of it all?
Yeah, let's move on to our Home Alone of it all, shall we?
If you had to pick one, what do you think the Home Alone of it all?
The Home Alone of it all?
Can someone please tell me when the Home Alone of it all?
I really gotta know.
When is the Home Alone of it all?
What is the Home Alone of it all? Now,
That's the Home Alone of it all.
If you're new
What is
here,
that? Well, yeah, what does that mean?
if you haven't been here in a while, if you forgot what it was, I have to explain it for Noel, even though they've been here 14 times now. Essentially, it's the idea that in the movie Home Alone, the part we're all there to see is when Kevin McAllister slaps down the blueprint. He's got all the traps set up for the robbers, and we want to see that series of traps. Steve and I have sort of posited over the years now that every movie kind of has a Home Alone of it all in one way or another. Sometimes it's this particular segment. It could just be like your favorite segment of the movie, which I really think that's the heart and soul of what the Home Alone of it all is now, like what it means to us now. But it could also be just the third act of the movie, which we've also determined sometimes it literally is just the third act. But Noel, since you have been here before, I've explained it to you the most amount of times. Why don't you go first? In addition to that, please give us your final thoughts and a rating if you have one. Doesn't matter what the rating is. It could be fun, jokey, could be out of 5 or out of 10, whatever. The floor is yours, Noel. You know what to do. You were here literally last week.
Sorry about that. I hate when people cough on podcasts and have their dogs crunch biscuits and stuff. So sorry to everyone out there. My bad. I don't think. I mean, I usually have a difficult time finding the Home Alone of it all because for some reason, the way I watch movies doesn't compute with me. Like this has been keeping me up at night. I've been thinking about why I can't process the Home Alone of it all. Because I don't go into a movie with the intent of seeing anything. And it's because I have a dark depression in which I can't ever set myself up for feeling like happy about anything or looking forward to anything, because it's always going to be like dumped in your face, and movies are often very disappointing. So I think that's why I can't grasp the concept of the Home Alone of it all. I will be talking to my therapist about this.
I was going to say, maybe this is something for the therapist.
Yeah. Do I need to exempt you from the Home Alone of it all, like after all this time? Are you just exempt?
Noel's going to come back next week with a written note from their therapist being like, Noel doesn't have to be the Home Alone of it all anymore.
That's Noel.
I've done EMDR and I put it in my safe space and I can't access it right now. Anyway, so the Home Alone of it all. This movie, I don't think there was a moment because it just kept going to different places. Like I didn't know where it was going. And so there were so many big moments. It was like the new Jurassic Park trailer where you're like, everything is a finisher. What's actually going to happen in the movie, yo? Like every plot movement in this was a finisher. So I really don't like at all. What's my favorite part of the movie though?
Sure.
Yeah. Also, one of the options for the Home Alone of it all. Your favorite part.
Exactly. I'm going with that option.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part was when they were just on the boat dancing, and she was dancing to the Bee Gees, and Beth was doing like a really cute little dance. There was just something about that hit me in a way of like, you can see the reserved child. Like I guess I saw myself in Beth when you're kind of like bouncing around a little bit, but like you don't really know what the other person's energy is, and you don't know what you're getting into. And I don't know. Yeah, that moment of like just a brief interlude of childhood dynamics before like you get into a really freaking messed up story. So it's like,
yeah.
So that little bit, it was really cute. Overall, I liked this movie. There were the first 40 minutes where I was just staring at the scroll bar, but it's because I have such a short attention span. As you see, when I'm in this room, I just keep grabbing stuff that if there's a pause in anything for any reason, I have a really difficult time staying on it. But I normally have to watch all movies in chunks, and I actually watched this one all the way through. And I think it's because it's aimed at an 8-year-old 90-minute like mind that even though I was like, just as I was like losing it, it would like pick it up again and like give me more movie. So that's a good thing for me. Like, I don't want to sit in a slog movie. I just want to have a nice time sometimes. And it was, so far as feminist masterpieces go, like, it had really, like, Jody's story was really, what's the word I'm looking for? Jody's story was pretty dark, and I don't know if, like, the moral of the story, it's not a movie with a moral, but it definitely does touch on a whole bunch of very real things that you would see in all aspects of childhood. And we talked about this earlier, where like there's queer coding, there's neurodivergent coding, there's being a child in a world where adults don't believe you. There's a lot of things that speak to the inner child that my therapist and I are trying to soothe. So so that was, I don't know, I liked it. I would give it oh god, I would give it 28.35 grams of 1980s gold out of 1 troy ounce of 1990s gold.
That was gonna be my rating.
That was good. How about you, Caitlin?
I was also gonna rate in gold. Well, as I think the Home Alone of this movie for me, even though the third act is kind of the obvious one, is when Beth is like almost drowning, and there's the race against time, and Jody is like doing her big like, "Don't worry, Beth, I can do it," and swimming and stuff. That part for me is always like the most exciting part of this movie, and it's the part that I think about and anticipate when I'm watching it. Besides the opening helicopter scene, which I'm also so excited to see every single time. But yeah, that's my favorite part. And it's obviously a very special movie to me. And I don't know why no one else has really heard of it. So I feel like if I wasn't able to see it, I would have thought that I like made it up. But yeah, I think I guess it's sprung to mind with the feminist masterpiece theme because of these like it's two girls and this unlikely friendship. And I remember like they're single moms, and then at the end, like it is the whole like parents not believing kids and then not believing women, and then they all come together, and it's like they're sticking together and they're stronger together and they push each other, and it's just, yay, ladies, and like they can go out and do stuff and save their friends and save the day. And yeah, the whole freedom aspect of it as a kid was the best. I give it 2 40-pound sacks of gold, which in numerical numbers is like 8. Sorry. I also want to just give it a solid 8.5. wait. No, wait. I want to give it an 87 because that's the year I was born. Okay, done. An 8.7.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. Before you guys go, I buried the lead. For the first while of this movie, I could only think of Twilight because she moves to basically the Pacific, like Northwest forks, like in Washington, and then meets this like person who, like, it's basically Twilight, which is why my name has been it's like Twilight basically the whole time. Because it's basically Twilight.
I liked when your name was like Old Mountain Lady or something.
Crazy Mountain.
Yeah, Crazy Mountain Lady. I like that one.
I forgot that my name was still this.
No Last Name or whatever was a good one too. Steve,
Hello.
tell us all about it.
My Home Alone of it all is when they're on the boat, do, and then the light hits them, and I'm like, it is a Goonies. And then she's like, all right, we're going into the cave. And then there's this really beautiful but like very sound stagey shot of the camera sort of like panning sideways across these like stalagmites and stalactites, and the tugboat just slowly puttering into what can only be a soundstage full of water.
Yes.
And I feel it. And it reminded me of when you watch, those old movies where they have big fake trees and thick fog machine mist and stuff. Even though it's a little bit more realistic and more grounded, it just gave me that feeling of like I'm watching an adventure movie from the 90s, and I'm really invested in this right now. And then as soon as she starts revealing all of her knickknacks and her furniture that she's built and all of this stuff, her getaway, her condo away from the real world, and she's got this sort of insular secret base of operations that is only for her, and you can only really imagine that she's never brought anybody here before. This is the first time that she's ever brought someone here. And I felt this sort of like profound sense of loneliness being broken within her, and like this the shell of like opening up to somebody in a way that she probably never has before. And that's when I kind of like understood the character a little bit better. Whereas before I was kind of looking at her from the outside and looking at like what's been shaping her family life, the way that the village is treating her, her lack of friends, the fact that she gets into fist fights with people who otherwise would probably be flirtatious with her when she's beating up the boys and stuff. If she was a regular girl, they probably wouldn't be treating her that way, but instead she's punching the shit out of them the minute you're introduced to her. So you have all these kind of like preconceived notions of her, and in this moment those were all kind of like melted away, and I was like, oh, I totally understand who this girl is. And not only that, but her base was cool. I was like, this is cool as fuck, and I understand the tragedy of this character in a way that I hadn't up until this moment. Because she's not talking about it. She's not being like, I'm going to take you to my secret hideaway. She doesn't reveal that at all until you get there, and then you understand who she is a little bit more. That's my Home Alone of it all. But based on that, I think that's sort of the whole thing of this movie that I found the most compelling was you sort of get who Beth is and why the way she is, where you don't with Jody, and you do throughout the movie. You slowly understand who Jody is, whereas Beth grows through the movie, and you start to root for her more, right up to the point that you're like, all right, deputize us, Beth. We want to help you solve this mystery. Oh, you got it? You got it? Okay, Beth, you're too smart for the rest of us. You know exactly what's going on. She's not a typical child. And obviously this is like a screenwritery thing, but like it just makes the character feel so like 10 times more powerful, and I like it. I thought it was funny, and I thought it was cool. It was just as cool as discovering that Jody had like a secret Ninja Turtles style hideout in a fucking gold mountain, which is sick. But in terms of like the development of the characters and the storytelling and sort of like, it didn't feel heavy-handed in a way that a lot of these sort of like heavy 90s narrative does. As you were talking about earlier, Noel, it's like you forget about the drab 90s where it was like, we're going to be talking about death realistically. We're going to be talking about child abuse realistically, rather than coming up, rather than coming up with like fancy ways to dress these things up as we did in the 80s. We're going to teach you about death by killing a horse in a swamp of literal sadness. Like that's how they would do it in the 80s and the 90s. They're like, no, these are things, these very real things could occur to you or people you care about, and these are maybe mechanisms for you to deal with it. So I think that like the movie in general, like it does deal with these really heavy things, and not in a super clunky way, and also still in a fun way that you can like be entertained by the story that's being told. So I think it's pretty successful there. I didn't hate this movie in any way. I thought I had a pretty fun time with it. It teleported me back to how I felt when I was a kid watching these types of movies. I was hoping for a more Goonies-esque adventure than a Stand By Me adventure, but it's kind of like got a little bit of both. It's like the two holding hands down the railroad tracks while a tugboat is coming from the other direction, and you can decide whether to take the tracks or jump on the boat. And when it comes to my Home Alone of it all, I feel like that railroad track and tugboat was a pretty good rating right there. Maybe I'll go with that. No, yeah.
I give you 2 railroad tracks and a whoop whoop.
Exactly.
Well, thank you. That was some good insight. I more so critiqued how reasons I didn't like it. My Home Alone of it all was anytime they were in that mountain set, I just wanted them to explore the mountain more. And that kind of goes into what my final thought of the movie is. It's like the movie was okay. It just not my favorite. I wasn't the target audience even when the movie came out. So I feel like some of that stuff, while I can set myself apart from the fact I'm a 40-year-old man, I could still kind of get into the nitty-gritty of it and like kind of think that way. I still feel like part of it's kind of lost on me just because I don't have that anchor. And it was different than what I thought it was going to be. And unfortunately, I really was looking forward to it being one thing. And I was a little bit blindsided with it being a coming of age tale about, like Steve was just kind of talking about like death and loss and, what it means to start becoming a woman, So I was a little bit blindsided by that, but also to what Noel said, I really do enjoy that. My eyes would go cross-eyed a little bit, and then it would pick back up. A new, cool, interesting thing would happen. Unfortunately, the movie just didn't super resonate with me. Outside of it being like a pretty competently made movie that I think that kids now could relate to, and it's a little bit edgier than these kinds of movies are. That are made today for people of this age group. So that's sort of my ultimate, like, how I felt about it. I didn't hate it. I didn't necessarily like it that much, but it did have enough content in there to keep me engaged. We've done movies on this show where the movie is more like we do it for the conversation and watching the movie itself is kind of the chore. This wasn't that. And also the conversation of this movie about this movie made me like the movie more. It didn't change my rating this week. Sometimes it does actually change my rating. I don't think it enhanced it enough to give it an additional grade. I do give it a 2 out of 5. I could see it being more like a 2.2 out of 5 because I did get some enjoyment out of this conversation, and being retrospective about the movie kind of helped me to enjoy it more. You guys also pointed out some stuff that I like just kind of missed because I wasn't engaging it at maximum capacity because I was kind of like, ugh, a lot of times, but I shouldn't have been. I should have had an more open mind, and I apologize for that element. So 2.2 out of 5 is my final rating, and I guess I did bump it up a tad. I do, however, give this movie Encountering a Bear, but it doesn't eat you. And I recommend.
Are you saying you choose the bear, Jason?
I always choose the bear. I give this movie choosing the bear. There, how about that? And also, I definitely recommend this for, like, if you're having family movie night. This is a good old school movie that you can watch with your kids.
Noel, you're picking all my favorite lines. Like
Yeah,
over and over again. I was like, I
Titanic.
cannot engage because then it would just be us like doing bits of Titanic.
I assure you, she can and will sink.
She can stay afloat with the first 4 compartments, not 5.
Not 5.
She goes down my head. That's so good. Anyway, just good chat. We should watch Titanic. Okay, but can we really though?
We can do Titanic. I'm sure we can find it. We can find a theme.
Oh my god, that'd be like the longest podcast.
It'd be a 5-hour episode of the show. This episode's on the shorter side, and we're still on track to do 3 hours.
Can you do a Legends episode where like just a random assortment of people who've been on the show a lot or not at all, whatever, just do Titanic? Like as a special marathon episode, and then
an 8-hour stream, or it's Titanic theme.
I was gonna say we could do a Titanic watch stream where we all watch it together and we just sit on here and talk the whole time while the movie's playing.
That'd be cool.
We've all seen it before.
Yeah.
This is stuff we can talk about outside of the podcast. Do you guys want to do our plugs before we
Get our
leave?
plugs in and get the hell out of here.
All right, let me just plug this in right here and.
I think this podcast might have the most deaths per capita. every week somebody dies. Is that a new guy or the same guy every time?
I think it's like, what's that movie with Bill Murray where he keeps going back in time by a day? Groundhog's Day.
Groundhog Day, yeah.
He just
Or
doesn't
like
learn
Kenny?
his memory. Or Kenny.
Yeah, or Kenny, yeah. Oh my god. Noel, what do you got cooking? What's going on?
Sportsnet just increased their streaming service for hockey by another basically $100 for what was already very expensive. So I guess I'm never gonna watch hockey again in my life.
It's a good plug.
So I plugged this show. This show's fantastic, and I think more people should go in the comments and chat it up avec us and hang out and stream, and then bother us on the internet because that's fun.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, thank you. You're welcome back every week this month. Caitlin, do you have any?
Feminism.
Do you have anything that you would like to promote?
I do. It's the law now. I've been working on this live show with Super Simple, where I work and do the songs in the kids videos, and we just our tickets went on sale today. So we're doing a mini tour in Southern Ontario. We're going to Toronto and Ottawa and Kingston and Niagara and Hamilton and Chatham. And the Toronto show pretty much sold out today, which was very exciting.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
We were very excited. But there's lots of other tickets available at the other shows. So if anyone's watching this and wants to come see a kids show, it's very fun. It's got your favorite Super Simple characters, and it's got bubbles and a fire truck, a little bit of haze, confetti, depending on where you come see it, because some theaters don't like confetti. Yeah.
If you don't have
confetti.
kids, get super baked and go see it, because that sounds like all the things that you would see at a rock concert.
Yeah, me and Jason show up just high as hell.
You guys should totally come. It's very, very fun. There's a big screen, and like I interact with all these cartoon characters. We're putting the show together now, and there's a lot of like cues and then idle, so like we can pause for audience reactions and stuff. And the guy who's cueing it is just a machine. There's like over 100 cues. But it's going to be very, very fun, and you can find more details and tickets at supersimple.com/tickets.
Awesome.
Cool.
Sweet.
You're also welcome back. Let's try to not make it a year this time for you to
I
come
know.
back.
Well, I think I am actually coming back next month for Cyborgs.
Yeah, for the
Wait, was it?
Crypto.
Was it?
Cryptids.
Cryptids.
Cryptids. Sorry, yeah. For
You both got
cyborgs.
Yeah, I mean, we could do cyborgs.
I'm having like super Titanic blue balls from all these quotes.
That's funny.
I felt like a good outro one. The gentleman has been privileged playing with you.
That's
tonight.
true. What about, do you know what's like, you want to walk a little faster through that valley there? Do you know that part? Because that was like always a line I would do as a kid of like, what movie is this from? You want to walk a little faster through that valley there? And it was like the deepest Titanic quote cut ever.
I remember we used to play that sometimes when we first met, and anytime I didn't know what it was,
say something
I would be like Titanic, and you'd be like, "Damn it!"
How did you
Well,
know?
if all your lines are from Titanic, I mean, you're gonna get found out pretty quick.
I know.
Well, I mean, for me, it is, as always, Darth Theorist and the Three-Eyed Theorist on YouTube. I do all the narration as well as all the character voices for those shows. If you guys like listening to me here, you'll love listening to me talk for 45 minutes about what if Ultron took over the Star Wars universe with my really great James Spader impression. And other than that, on the 29th of this month, I believe Stanland episode 1 is dropping. Jason, do you mind if I play the trailer?
Nope, go ahead.
All right, here we go.
From WSUS Raleigh, I'm Milo Goddard, and do I have a story for you? In the fall of 2022, a podcaster by the name of Melanie Hughes went missing. A few weeks later, by the side of a road in Poolesville, Maryland, a digital recorder belonging to Melanie was found.
The wardrobe is a portal?
Yeah, though technically the portal was there first. Mom built an IKEA wardrobe around it. It's the Florida Flula model. Some of these changes, wow, not sitting good with me. Everything's a little too modern.
So let me understand, Zingia was a simpler place, but in the past 12 years it's become Myrtle Beach?
I am Azran, king of Zingia, hence retired. Now I rule nothing. I forgot to introduce you to my guest.
Bobby? Look, I'm bringing this dump into modern times, and you morons are gonna help me.
We're stuck here as his servants unless we find some other way out.
I suggest you head to the dreaded dungeons of Chiorotha.
He's called the Dark One for a reason. Dread spreads across the land upon his growing shadow, or something.
Hello, guests. Greetings. Come in. Come in.
Get me home. Open the portal. Get us both home. Me and Melanie. I'm done.
You're not going anywhere.
Stanland is a 5-part audio fiction series featuring Bobby Moynihan, Ray Seahorn, Steve Little, Tim Sharp, John Hamm, John Waters, and more.
You're not going to want to miss Stanland. Available this summer on the Sonar Network and wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe now.
So that's Stanland. I am the voice at the end of that trailer, but I believe I'm also going to be the person who's like, next time on Stanland, previously on Stanland. I'm going to be that voice, but I also play a bunch of characters in it, so that will be fun, and I recommend everybody check it out when it comes out. I'm excited, and I hope everybody else is too. Other than that, I did.
Sorry, stop.
What? Oh, I thought
Sorry.
you were telling me to stop. And then, other than that, later this year, there's a video game coming out that I am in, and I can tell you more about that soon. But I can tell you that I'm the bad guy in it. I'm the bad guy in a game. It's gonna be fun. And that's pretty much it for this week.
Cool. Well, thank you. Can't wait to see Stanland. I'm excited for the video game as well. I would also like to tell everybody about this show. It's called Hey, Did You See This One? We're got a lot of episodes. You can go back and watch all the old ones in video and audio format. This show typically goes up for on demand on YouTube over the weekend. Same with the audio version. I'm away this weekend, so you'll only be able to watch back the live version until I return. I won't have time to upload it properly, but it's there. It exists on Twitch and YouTube even now in its uncut format with pre-show. But we go live each and every week at 8 p.m. on Thursday Eastern time, right here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I'm paring down some of our social media stuff. We won't have as much of a presence on some of the other things we used to go live on because it's just not worth the time. So if you used to watch us on Kick, well, sorry, I'm not doing that anymore.
And if you're like, what's Kick? That's what I said.
Don't worry about it.
Is it Kick? Go on.
Yeah, and don't worry about it. I was testing it out just to see if there was any. Okay, I'm over explaining. I'm also the voice, the announcer for Super Kick Pro Wrestling here in Toronto. We have a show coming up on July 25th. There isn't a lot of information available about it yet, but last month we had the classic wrestler from the 1990s, Al Snow, came onto the show, and it was amazing. I got to meet him and announce his entrance and all that good stuff. You can go back and watch that at the Super Kicked YouTube channel, and if you want tickets to the show, go to superkick.ca and look up tickets for that. So check all that great stuff out, and we're here every Thursday, so make it a destination. It's appointment viewing, but also in this new world of streaming, it's been going on for over 10 years. You can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. I think that's everything for this week. So just before we get out of here, there's one question that needs to be asked each and every week. Now, I'm going to have Caitlin and Noel ask it at the same time. Caitlin, do you remember what the question is?
No,
I'll give you a hint. It's the name of the show.
Got it.
Okay, so I'll count you guys in, and then I'll play the end credits. Let me just get that logged up. Okay. In 3, 2, 1.
Hey, did you see this one? Did I fuck it up?
No, I did.
And then, of course, I played the picture of the
Yeah, it was a
show, not
collection
the,
of the only person that did something right, Caitlin, was you.
Yeah. So
That's the way I like it.
If it's a dystopian future version, is it AI Snow instead of Al Snow?
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. Tune in to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. Artistic interviews with graphic histories. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And while you're at it, spin a few records with Eamon on Track. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mario Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.
まさかその気じゃないだろうな。いや、その気だ。付き合うだろうな。もちろん。シートベルトを締めろ。本物のスタントを見せてやれ。ああ、爆破せろ、相棒。捕まったろ。行くぞ。はあ！フライヤー、てめえは行かれてる。マジクレイジーだぜ。